Cloud. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Mr. Barsano, Mr. Heveshi. My name is Edward Pereira. It finally comes up. We've been doing some tech changes in the background. So, welcome to the last show of the year for Crypto Casey's crew. We are going to give you a rest on Christmas Eve, which is next Wednesday, and the following Wednesday, which is New Year's Eve. But we will be back live on the first, not the first of the year, but lucky number January 7th. So please do join us. Same link, same time, same bat channel. And we are here today. We have, let me say this is going to come out, it's going to come out strange at the beginning, but you'll understand when I finish the sentence. We don't have to be here. We have the privilege of being here to share the knowledge of the hard work, the 50 years of programming prowess, and the 25 years of success that Mr. Barsano and his company have created with the world's first and only fully autonomous crypto trader and stock trader. Happens to be two different platforms and two different licenses, but fundamentally operating the same, and money management platform, which simply doesn't exist. And if you are paying attention to the news, and thank you for all for the folks that have joined our community. There's been some great interactions. As we posted, now every Monday we're going to go to posting the week in review and what's to come, which gives you the curated snapshot of what you should be paying attention to in the crypto space, and quite frankly, in the large financial space as a whole, because we are entering, not even entering, we are already in the Great Reset. The reset of going from traditional debt-based finance, which is born and managed on purpose to keep us all broke and misinformed. And I hope you find that in our show and presentation and the things that we talk about enlighten what the digital money revolution is going to look like. And I can tell you for sure, this isn't a scare tactic. This is just fact. The fact that these three gentlemen, loosely apply that to myself, are deeply rooted and have been for decades in the financial world, knowing what it was designed to do, that is the traditional fiat system. And of course everybody here is either a Crypto Casey audience member and lover of Crypto Casey's content, or has been recommended because of Crypto Casey. And her view of the current financial system is a four-letter word, being scam. So
Oh, I thought it was love.
yeah, no, love no more. No, love no more. Different four-letter word. But going forward, this tool provides you an opportunity to take advantage of the digital money revolution, right? Most of us here, if not everybody here, is a crypto hodler, right? So we, with our teachings and sharing of information, we kind of consider it creating a whole new category. If all of us are hodlers in some form or fashion, waiting for our rocket ship to launch, what GoBaby Trade, the platform all by itself, automates a part of your financial life, but it makes you a hybrid that is better than just a hodler. While you're waiting for the rocket ship to take off, we are giving you the opportunity to monetize and cash flow on your crypto, which is extraordinarily important. You're not just sitting there wondering why the market, as Mr. Barsano calls, blood in the streets, and licking your wounds. You have the opportunity, if you're using this trader, because if you are, you know that in an up or a down market, it just simply rakes money. And if you are not a user, we hope that this education provides the opportunity for you to realize what the opportunity is. So with that, I'm going to bring up an expectation slide of for those that have not joined us before, what you can expect from today. And it's going to be, as I said, we're going to be in a little bit of a truncated message still. We're going to give you all the information, and then we're going to give you ways to interact with us through email if there are additional questions that come up. So with that, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me make it bigger. All right. What's the transformation is the best word that we can describe where you start in this presentation and what happens at the end, right? People want to understand not necessarily all about the bells and the whistles. They want to understand what transformation is it going to give them to make them happier, more at ease, less stress, with more money in their pocket, which I can't think of a better way to describe it than the word transformation, right? Money isn't everything, but it makes things a little bit easier. As I always say, oxygen's right here. Money is right in line with it. It gives you the ability to have more money at the end of your month instead of month at the end of your money. And we already know the top three things, most important things people focus on is money and finances, relationships, and health and wellness. Can't help you with the other two, but we can give you an opportunity to take full advantage of this marketplace like nobody else can. You're going to see, right? What if we could show you how you could buy your time back and improve your finances? Two very important things. My personal testimony, and I won't drag this out, is what Mr. Barsano has created has given me the ability to spiritually do what I need to do, what I have been commanded to do, which is to create a legacy for my children's children. And it makes it effortless. I don't have to go to school for 6 to 10 years to understand how to trade on what to trade in a very manipulated market anyway. I let what Mr. Barsano, over 25 years of perfecting the system, do it all by itself. You're going to see an overview of about 45 minutes of Go Baby Trade. We're going to talk about some of the bells and the whistles, but that is transformative in itself because you understand why the machine and how the machine just simply creates free money for you. Now, legally free money, right? No manipulation. It just does what it does. You're going to see a system that automates all of your finances. And works for you trading crypto 24/7, 365. By the way, it does it. Mr. Barsano has the same trader with the same rule set that trades the stock market, but the stock market is just not nearly as volatile as the crypto market. And to be a trader, profitable trader, you have to have volatility. There isn't an asset class on the planet that is more volatile than the crypto market. This simply encapsulates it. You can go to bed, make money in your sleep, wake up and go, huh, that was cool. I'd like to do that again. You're going to see the live demonstrations of the platforms. You're going to see a one of mine that has been a simulator that takes full advantage. I created it in this simulation mode to take advantage of the next bullet point, which is the $1 billion report, which I lovingly renamed. It's normally called high trade counts, but it identifies optimal trading opportunities. So there's generally two questions, right? What coins do I trade to take advantage of this platform, and how much money do I have to start with? You're going to leave with a whole lot more than that, but we're going to actually play and dream and do some math in a new tool that we're implementing to actually show you the power of compounding, and that's exactly what this does for your money. And you're gonna leave with understanding how we say it's truly a set it and forget it trading and money management platform. Which, if you're new and you're not scratching your head going, this is kind of sounding like it's too good to be true, we want you to think that. We want you to do your own research, and we give you all the tools to do that. But you also have to realize that you have a decision to make. Do I want to make my finances better or not? Do I want to automate and buy back some of my time or not? We're not here to force you to buy anything. We're here to educate you. And if you come out the back end and you go, wow, I really did learn something, but I'm not quite ready, that's cool. If you decide to take advantage of it, you may or may not know that Crypto Casey's audience Crypto Casey, on behalf of her audience, has negotiated a $1,000 discount off of the normal price for a 3-year license. Thank you, Mr. Barsano. So with that, I'm going to hang on, put your sunglasses on, because I've got to cover a disclaimer, and it's going to burn your retina. So I'm going to boil this down. You're here for financial and informational purposes only. We're not licensed to tell you anything or advise you anything. We know things work. We don't have to be licensed to be able to show you how to make money in your sleep. But take all of this at your own risk. Everything that we represent is factually based, and you can call us on that. We will prove it. There's no smoke and mirrors. It is simply how the machine works, why it works, and how you can take advantage of it. We're not financial, legal, tax, or any other advisors. You might, if you're having some trouble in your marriage, Mr. Barsano might be able to lend some education to that. But beyond that, that's it. I mean, has been happily married for 40 years and
44.
44. Well, there's
Believe me, I'm counting every minute.
because you are so in love, as you suggested before. So with that, thank you for the opportunity to give you an overview. I'm going to turn it back over to my partner and great friend, Mr. Heveshi, and he'll give a background on how we came to be, because without him, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, in this case, it's the 6 degrees to Mr. Barsano, and he'll share that story. We'll go. And if you noticed, we're both wearing hats. We're going to have to get Mr. Barsano a Make Crypto Great Again hat. And so we all look like samesies. So with that, Attila, please continue.
I don't know. It's a little political. Political ring to it, I don't want to lose half my audience.
No, this is crypto.
I lost you, Edward, on six degrees to a bake to a bacon.
6 degrees. You never heard the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? You can.
No.
You. Oh
Yeah,
my
I never
goodness,
heard
that's you've never heard of it. What rock
No.
have you guys been under?
Some of us don't live our life watching TV.
No, I don't. Very rarely do I listen to the live box. I turn it on, and just like you say, I hear the talking heads. I'm like, who needs this? I don't have time for that. But the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is you can name somebody in your life that knows somebody in their life that knows somebody.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
At the 6 degree, you can get all the way back to Kevin Bacon. So in this case, it's the 6 degrees of Mr. Barsano.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked. All right. So
ask away. I've got more answers.
No. You be quiet. All right. So
mute him for the rest of the show.
As
I have the controls.
as Archie Bunker used to say, stifle yourself.
Meathead.
No, Edith. Anyway,
yeah.
So thanks for the intro, Edward. And I mean, my job basically is to explain how we all got here, how I met Mr. Barsano, and as a result, we're all here. But my background is purely financial my whole life. I don't want to bore you with the details, but in 2020, I was in the right place at the right time. I had the time to dive into this space. And I missed the internet revolution. So I promised myself there's no way on earth I'm missing this, because it's just, to me, this was very fascinating. The whole sovereign money, get rid of the middleman, all that stuff. So I just learned the space, studied it. Now, you don't have to make money with the trader. You don't need to do anything like I did. But I'm glad I did what I did, because it's led to some amazing things. Anyway, so Mr. Barsano's background is such that he was in the Navy, and after a successful career there, he did some nuclear engineering for the government, and then ended up, I think about 1985, he got hired as one of the first 350 hires at Microsoft Corporation. And he did extremely well there for 10 years, almost 10 years, not quite.
9 years.
9 years,
actually.
Yep. 8.5? Okay. Retired a young man, wasn't even 40 years old yet. Was bored to death, so he started buying the stock. The tech stocks back then were going to the moon. Internet revolution. And so he got in that game, and fortunately for all of us, he lost a large portion of his wealth with the crash in 2000. Why do I say fortunately? Because I mean, he basically made it a mission of his to level the playing field and make sure that the average person had a fair shake without gambling of making money trading the stock market, autonomously, by the way. So, and he did create that. He launched it in 2001. So get this, you downloaded the software. Back then it was downloadable software. It was tedious, it was cumbersome, but it took about 60 to 90 minutes. And then once that happened, you could go about your life. This thing turned itself on at 9:30 in the morning when the stock market opened up, traded for you all day, and then 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Eastern, shut itself off. 100% unattended. So that was, I mean, it's pretty amazing to see that being done with this kind of accuracy as the trader does it today. Imagine looking back to 2001, how amazing it was back then. Even when I met Mr. Barsano in 2012, it was amazing. So speaking of that, a mutual friend of ours said, Attila, how'd you like to make money in the stock market without doing anything? And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Because I did always want to make money in the stock market, but I sure as heck didn't want to be a day trader or learn all that crap. I don't have the patience for it. And it does take patience and perseverance and years of study. And that's not me. So I said, well, he said, you got to meet this guy. He's a former Microsoft programmer, genius, put together something you got to see. So I said, all right. I have, a wise man told me once, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So I said, sure, I'll take a look at what that is. And I was flabbergasted after 20 minutes of Ed explaining it to me. I said, time out. I get it. I want to buy it. I bought the software on the spot, got set up, and I used it. It was phenomenal. I mean, it really worked. So after a 2-year stint, Mr. Barsano had a 2-year stint with a marketing company that he eventually split off of and went back to being solo. They did sell $16 million worth of licenses, however. But after that, in about 2018, he actually ended up selling that version of the trader off to a hedge fund that had previously purchased many, many licenses from him. Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting because from his clients back in 2010 to 2014, he had a lot of people contacting him back in 18, 19, 20, saying, hey, Ed, why don't you do a trader for crypto? And he was busy doing this, doing that. He really wasn't paying attention. But when he did finally pay attention, he did just that. So 2 years ago, not quite 2 years ago, March of 24, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm a cash flow guy. I love cash flow. I had lost a lot of money on 5 different blockchain crypto cash flow projects. And I'm sitting there going, how the heck can I safely and securely multiply my crypto holdings that are in stable coins? Okay, because I know there's a way. It took me a full day and I said, oh my God, I forgot about Ed Barsano. I'm sure he's created by now, surely a cryptocurrency automated robotic trader. I tracked him down, still had his phone number in my iPhone. We spoke for 3 hours. And he said, yeah, he confirmed my hunch. He said, and I launched this version in April of 2021. And he said, Attila, it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And I said, how come, Ed? And he gave me 4 pretty compelling reasons why. Number one, he said, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7, 365. Big advantage. And I agreed right away. Okay. The second thing was he said, look, you got to have, this is also something I already knew. He said, you got to have a lot of volatility if you want to make money in any kind of trading, whether it's precious metals, Forex, stocks, crypto. I said, absolutely. The more volatility, the more money you make. He said, yeah. He said, Attila, as you know, there's no asset class on earth with more volatility than crypto. And I agreed. But number 3 and number 4 is really what threw me for a loop because here's why. Number 3 was, Attila, this is not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. And I really didn't know exactly what that meant. So I asked him to explain. And he said, well, if you rebuy the license right now, I could have you connected live to your exchange, crypto exchange, in 10 minutes or less. I said, what? I said, giddy up, let's do it. So I bought the license again, previously owned it in 2012, as I just said. And in 8.5 minutes, I was connected to my Coinbase live. That blew me away, folks, because I remember 2012, it was nothing like that, not even close. So I said, well, this is cool. But number 4 is the most important thing that should be the most important thing for everybody, all of you. And that is this. He said, I created an API connection whereby the trader connects to your own Coinbase or your own Kraken account. So guess what? You and only you control your money. And I said, Ed, that's brilliant because safety and security, there's a lot of fraud in this space, and you got to have that safety and security. I said, we got to help bring this to market for you. Let's go. So before I introduce Ed, I really want to make sure everybody understands two things. Number one, when we say set it and forget it, here's how we mean it. Once you're set up in 10 minutes or less, you don't need to interact with the trader at all. It's everything's already set. The settings are preset. Once you've picked your coins, you're done. Now, if you're probably going to want to go in there once or twice a day and look at what your trader is doing, that's fine. But as far as interacting with it or any screen time, absolutely not needed. That's what we mean by set it and forget it. This is not copy trading where we're sending you signals and you have to input it into some kind of an account somewhere, not even close. The second thing is, more importantly, I think, is that please understand what Ed Barsano has developed for the world. This has never, ever been done before. He's leveled the playing field where without anybody being an accredited investor, without anybody knowing anything about trading, without anybody knowing anything about crypto, without anybody really knowing anything about computers, you could now automate a portion of your financial life and make money while you sleep. Folks, that's never been done before. Now, will it make you profits every day? It's market dependent.
People think it's been done before because there's so many of those bots out there. And we'll talk about that. I'll talk about that.
Well, I look at the big picture, and what's never been done is at this level of success with a 25-year track record, where the average person, without having any expertise at all, can now relax and make money in their sleep. But I'll look forward to your input on that. Before I introduce you, Ed, I do want to bring back Edward for a moment. If you want to share your story.
Edward again.
Yeah. I ask him to keep it short, but he never does. So I don't know what to do with this guy. Anyway, this is something that everybody should pay attention to because it's a very, very strong visual on Edward's simulation account that he started March 25th of 2025. And Christmas Day will be 9 months to the day that this thing is running, and you got to see these results. In the markets, it's been either flat or sideways.
Or down, big time down.
You're muted, Edward.
Or not flat or sideways, straight down.
Yeah.
Straight down. But it's indicative of the power of two things. What you're going to see is, as I said, I built this simulation based on the power of the $1 billion report, which we'll talk about in detail. I'm not going to show it to you, but Mr. Barsano is, and then you'll understand in retrospect what I did. So let me make sure that I have that screen up. Yep, here we go.
Three, two, one.
Yep. Well, I just had to get to the right trader because I've got two up. Maybe if we have time later, I'll give you an example of one that I just started a live trader for a nonprofit that I created. But okay, so what you're looking at here is in 9 months, I started with $100,000 and in my sleep generated $47,244 as of today with 59, almost $60 profit, 47 plus $1,000. That is annualized almost 90 plus percent. And think about when I talked about the categories, you're already a hodler if you own it. If you don't own the trader, then you're just a hodler. But if you own the trader and you hold crypto for the rocket ship to launch, this is a great way to cash flow your holdings. Some or all or part. You can segment it and it's diversification, but you're spitting out cash flow on a regular basis. Now, I won't go over all the parameters of the trader, but this is essentially the dashboard. You've got a summary on the left-hand side. You can see. You all right? You're going to survive?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. It's a little bit over $47,000, which if you annualize that, let's just, because it changes on the regular, but tell me if you can get this sort of return and cash flow on your money. 47 to 44 divided by 9 times 12. It's currently running at a 60%, 63% annualized rate in a severely down market, right? If you've been in the market in the last 9 months as comparison as a buy and holder, then you're literally just underwater, hoping and praying. And yes, we're going to get a positive market here. Nobody knows when, but every day that you read the news about the crypto and decentralized market, you're seeing nothing but great news. Why are prices dropping? I'll give you a summary statement and then we'll talk about it at great length. That is, the market, in my humble opinion, is being manipulated by the institutions, which the institutions finally, including the banks, finally can play in the same marketplace. They're forcing the prices down so that they can buy all the crypto. As Mr. Barsano said, they want to own it all. They want you to own nothing. With the trader, even though the market is dropping, it is still wiggling. Nothing ever goes straight up. Nothing ever goes straight down. So when it goes down a little bit, it buys more. When it sells, it pumps money and does that all day, all night for your entire life and beyond. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Attila to introduce Mr. Barsano, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts. But
Yeah,
rest on this. The word at the beginning was transformation. It doesn't matter how the machine works. You'll just know that it works, and it perpetually pumps free money out of the market. Again, market dependent, but whatever the market will give you, there are over 3 million lines of code and 25 years of successful trading. By the way, never, ever once selling at a loss unless you manipulate it. And you can be assured if nothing else works, this does. So with that, Attila?
You sure? Okay.
One more
Sure.
thing. One more thing. Go ahead. I'm
You know,
even going to mute myself.
what's crazy is that $47,000 really, if you had that in a bank, if they paid 1%, which is about what they paid, you'd after 9 months, you wouldn't even be at $470 yet. Let's say they paid 3%. That would be after 1 year, maybe $1,200. In 9 months, you're at 47,000. It's mind blowing. It really is mind blowing. Okay,
Free
so
money.
Ed Barsano, we're so thankful that every Wednesday you make yourself available to be here on these Crypto Casey Zooms. And by the way, folks, if you are new today, Edward and I act as the educational arm and support arm on behalf of Crypto Casey as it pertains to Go Baby Trade. Okay. So Ed, it's all yours, buddy. The floor is yours, and we look forward to you enlightening everybody here today.
Well, I'm always thankful to be invited to Crypto Casey's events. I'm not a genius. I just drink smart water. Um, well, what I wanted to say, I always take notes when you first start, when I listen to you two gentlemen talk. And I got my Apple 101 device here. And
For
I write
Christmas,
down
Mr. Barsano, we're going to get you a hardbound, upgraded version of Apple 2.0 with
I'll never
with a
use
bind
it.
on with a binding on it.
Oh, with a
Spiral.
binder on top.
Right.
Well, this one kind of has something on, some kind of a lid. I don't like those, like like my daughters, they have like Macs, right? And I never, even though I'm a Microsoft guy and I was always anti anything other than Windows. I never deprived them. If you want a Mac, I'll get you a Mac, Don't ask me to use it.
That's nice.
Because I'm not, I gotta get to the DOS prompt. I'm sorry. I can't use something where where when you stick a disk in, the drive appears on the window, and then when you take the disk out, the drive disappears. Sorry, I can't deal with disappearing drives, you know, because I write code pointing at those drives.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, add I would like people to add to the Q&A because I like a good Q&A at the end, where we talk about. I like to hear not what I like to hear is why you would be afraid of fully robotic trading. What is it about it that scares you? That's what interests me. It's like nobody's afraid of light sockets or receptacles all over your house to plug things into. You know, I imagine when electricity first came out, I mean, I can't imagine people probably turned off all the electricity in their house every night before they went to bed. Or maybe every time they left the house, they would hit the main power switch. But eventually you just get used to using it and then and then you get to a point where you can't even live without it, you know. And it's the same way here, It's amazed me that I've never had a competitor all through the years, all the way, since I automated the market in 2001 and all as the years were going on and my software was getting better and better and my AI was getting smarter and smarter. And I was always looking over my shoulder going, where's the competitors? I was doing the stock market. Where are the fully robotic traders that are going to compete with me? There weren't any. And then 2006, TD Ameritrade called. Many of you, if you were on this event before, you probably heard me say it. And the gentleman asked, he said, will you connect your robotic trader to us? And I was surprised, he wanted all TD Ameritrade users to go fully automated. And I'm like, how do you even know me? And, the answer, what he said, you're real. And I thought that was so cool because I am real. And then E-Trade, a year later, I automated them. They called again out of the blue and said, will you connect your robotic traders to us so our clients can use it? And I helped them do that, and I did it for them. I've done it for about a dozen brokers, all the big brokers. And then when I automated the crypto market finally I turned on I automated cryptos in 2021. As soon as I turned the crypto traders on, I went, oh my God. When I looked at that volatility, man, on that screen, I could not believe what I was looking at. After 21 years of just doing stocks, and what I've said before, stock prices move like this. Cryptos move like this. They jump around. And that's gold to an auto trader because if it jumps down, the auto trader buys. And if it jumps up, the auto trader sells all that inventory it bought on the bottom, bought under it. I mean, I don't even know how you could even lose with this stuff. And I've been doing it 25 years. And so, people who have it, use it, love it, get rich using it, and most of the public though is running scared, and they're afraid of cryptos. They've been I think a big reason a lot of people are afraid of cryptos, and you can address that. Ask that, and mention that. If some of you could even throw that out there, what scares you about crypto? Because I'm like, man, this is gold. This is free money everywhere I look. I mean, just yesterday, did you guys see ASM yesterday?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It
It
jumped up
rocked.
60%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it went down 30%, or
Crazy.
half of that. It dropped half of that, so it was only up 30%, but it was just like free money. People were sending me emails, text messages, hey, Ed, look at my ASM. And I'm like, and I don't even trade ASM in my trader. I mean, you can't trade all the coins, I mean, I like to trade them all, but you can't. You spread your money too thin if you do that. So, but I have, my coins jump around. L3 jumps. That's one of the default coins people are trading with. L3 had 150% jump. How long ago? Maybe a few weeks ago. 150% straight up. That's
Hmm.
beautiful. Just free money. And the auto trader feasts on that. And we'll go in, I'll talk about that. when Attila says set it and forget it, and he really does mean that. I mean, when you once because the software is already set up. As soon as you sign up, you're just going to put in some symbols to trade, and then and a few. And I always recommend 3 to 5 coins. You don't want to spread your money too thin. People put 20 coins in there, and then you're spreading your money between those 20 coins, and that's like 5% per coin, because 5 times 20 is 100% of your money. So you're allocating only 5% of your money per coin, and when that coin jumps, you don't make much money, as opposed to if you had 3 coins, you got 34% of your money allocated to one coin, and 33% to the second one, and 33% to the third one. So you have a good amount of money in each coin, and then when a coin does jump, because they all jump, they all do crazy moves, and the auto trader feasts on that. Do you mind if I share my screen real fast?
Oh, please do.
Show you what I'm talking about, the
Yep.
jumping.
Okay.
Let's just take a look at coin market cap.
Wow, look at that.
ASM. That was ASM right here on the right. And
Yesterday.
the thing is, see, you're making money anyways on the wiggles, anyways. All these jumps. I mean,
Huh.
you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell. What is nice is a typical person trading the market, you're trying to actually find these when these wiggles are going to happen. We don't even try to find them. The auto trader already preps you. The auto trader automatically buys on that bottom, automatically buys on that bottom, automatically buys on all these bottoms you're looking at here. It automatically buys on that dip right down here, this huge dip. So that when it does, on all these points up here, these tips where it sells, all these tips, all these tops, you have inventory to sell. You're constantly buying and selling. So it's not like, oh, I didn't own any shares of that when it jumped. I mean, if you're in that coin, you owned shares in that coin. You owned what I call lots. The software separates every buy so that it's different. It's not compressing, it's not combining it all together, all the buys. If I buy it here, if I buy it, say I buy it here, and let's pretend like I didn't do any selling. If I bought it, 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 the software would keep track of each one of those buys and knows how much it paid for each one. So that when that one lot, I call each buy one lot, when that one lot pops, it sells off and takes profit. When you get crazy jumps like this here, everything you own, if you had any inventory left over here, you sold it all off on these jumps up. You see it jump there, then it went down, and you bought again, then it popped up to there and you sold it. It went down again, you bought, you sold, you bought, you sold, and then you bought again down here. It's like fine. It's like it's just I call it free money. What was great about this coin here is it just it came back down, but it didn't even matter because all that up there was just free money. Everything is the whole market is an insult to humanity, man, really. And why millions of people, what like you, there may be a few of you that don't own an auto trader. I would want to know why. Because it's like I don't know what you're doing. How do you not take advantage of free money? I don't get it. Unless you think this is some kind of a scam that I've been pulling off for 25 years. That's just nuts, man. I'm just a programmer. And that's why we said it was a gift from God when the market crashed in 2000. Because I retired from Microsoft in 95 and I was retired, completely retired. I was done with this planet, man. I had millions of dollars. I'm like, hey, I'm done with the planet. Up to then it was all about work, right? It was all about money, trying to make money. And you're working to make money. That's why you're working. I mean, I don't know anybody that just goes and gets a job not get paid. I mean, a lot of people volunteer and stuff like that. I don't really get that. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't get that. You could volunteer, if you have nothing better to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you have time to do such a thing, that's great. I get it. My son volunteered at a Salvation Army once, and I went in with him a few times, and it was a lot of fun. I have fun working no matter what, whether I'm being paid or not. But but with the robotic trading, to, when the market crashed after I retired in '95, and then I was miserably, it was fun the first few years, but then it got old because I don't fish, I don't golf. I really, I'm a programmer. I've been a programmer my whole life, so I really don't, really do all that other stuff, camping and things like that. So 5 years, I mean, we went to Disneyland a lot. It was fun. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I like to just sit there, and the kids want to go on those other crazy rides. I'm like, I just want to sit here and watch the ships shoot at each other, you know. Um, but um, but I got, that gets old. You can't do that, more than a few times a year. And, but then when the market crashed in 2000, I'm like, they just robbed all of us. What kind of scam was that? And that's what, and when one of the things people asked me after I retired is, what are you going to do? And then the question, if you think about it, you do whatever you want to do. It's like, I don't know, whatever I want to do, I guess. Whatever I want to do. I have a choice. I have choices. I have thousands of choices. What do you want to do with retirement? And people don't really think about that stuff. Like there's 1,000 things you could do, but you can't do it all. So you really have to pick something. And I didn't know what to pick. I mean, I created Talking Caller ID during my 5 years of retirement. Talking Caller ID, it was called PC Announce It. Some of you may have seen it in the stores. PC Announce It is what it was called. It was in a shrink wrap box. It had a device you plugged into the back of your computer and you connected your phone to that. So when a phone call came in, it saw the phone number. It would look in the database to see who it was from. It was basically, you added things to your database. And so otherwise it's going to say unknown call. And if it knew who it was, it could say incoming call from Heather for Julie, stuff like that. And then we had wireless speakers all over the house, so the PC didn't ring, the house rang. The house announced the call. It was so cool. But that was one thing, but I didn't like that. It had a hardware device, and when you put hardware and cables in a box, it's labor intensive, to do that, and I always said I'll never do another shrink wrap product again. I don't like that. It's so much involved to get that in the stores. Walmart was my biggest buyer. They bought hundreds of them. But then I stopped once I sold the 500 of them that I built. I said, I'm done with that business. Um, but then when the market crashed in 2000, I was reborn. I said, you picked on the wrong guy, baby. I'm going to hurt you for that. And I didn't know who you was, but I said, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to automate this market, and I'm going to prove it's just numbers going up and down. And with proper money management, we will rake profits out of that market, and you can't stop us. And let's look at that for a second. Let's talk about what that is. If it's water, I'm going to look at this bucket in a well. If it's water, nobody questions it. Everybody accepts that it will pump billions or millions or billions of gallons of water in a lifetime. If the bucket goes all the way down and gets the water, goes all the way up and dumps it out, and keeps repeating that forever, if you automated that, it would just keep pumping water. Go all the way down, go all the way up, and dump the water. Nobody disputes that it will pump millions or billions of gallons of water in a lifetime, depending on how big the bucket is and how fast it's going down and making sure there's water in the water basin down there. You're just gonna, as long as there's always water, you're just gonna keep pumping forever. Nobody disputes that. Nobody disputes the fact that if it goes partway down and goes back up, there won't be any water in the bucket. It's got to go to the bottom. However, when you look at the crypto market, it doesn't have to go to the bottom. It can go down a little, buy, go up a little, sell, and just keep pumping money. Down a little, buy, up a little, sell. And if it goes lower, don't worry about these losers up here. Don't even worry about that because you're going to be pumping down here like crazy, thousands of times even. Millions of times for that matter. I'm not worried about these few losers you're leaving behind. Don't even worry about those. You'll come back and get those when the market jumps. Like that coin jumped 60%, boom. All that inventory that you had below it, you just sold it all off. And you just repeat that forever. As long as you divide up the money that you had up here and spread it out so that you always have money down here to trade. This is where millions of people go wrong the way they trade. They go all in up here. They put all their money in at the top, and then when it goes lower, they can't do this because they don't have all they're what I call top heavy. All their money's up here, but down here they don't have any money, so they can't trade anymore. Plus, without the auto trader, you wouldn't know how much you paid for each of these individual lots. Each time you purchase, you got to keep track of how much you paid for that one lot. See, when you sell it, you're profitable. Okay? I've been doing this for 25 years now. And I call the market an insult to humanity because it's just free money. You turn on your auto trader, you're done. Once you, and in our case, once you sign up, you're done because the auto traders run on my servers. I'm looking over there right now. You notice I pointed that way when I said the servers. I'm looking right now at 5 servers I just got in the mail over the weekend from FedEx. You know, I configure them here and then I'll take them to the co-location center and plug them in. I plug in about 10 new servers a month. And so, I mean, I've got a huge cage with all these racks of servers. Some of you know what that looks like in a co-location center. I'm like AT&T over there. You know, when I walk in, oh, Mr. Barsano, you know, and I'm like, I'm just a punk, but you know, I wear this jacket here. I look important, but I'm just a punk, in heart. You know, I'm a '70s kid, so
Uh-huh.
'60s, '70s. So I lived. We played tag when I was younger, jumping across garage roofs in Chicago. I mean, kids these days, they can't even fathom that. You know, we lived, boy, when we were younger. You know, we had the best music. We had the best of everything back then. Um, anyways, so set it and forget it, as Attila says, is right. You know, as far as the trader goes, it's trading on my servers, so you don't have to worry about turning on your computer. You can go to any web browser to see how your trader is doing because the auto trader is actually running on the server. You're not looking at the physical auto trader. Those are executables running on our servers, and I've got racks of servers. And what you're looking at is a web browser that's going to the database and seeing how your trader is doing. So it's constantly it's just showing you everything that's going on. There's the total number of quantity that I own here, you know, right up here. Here's all your filled orders, every buy. The buys on the right here are the ones where where it doesn't show a number. You can see on the left here, it shows open, 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 these top 3. And then you have the closes shows profits taken. You know, and you're just constantly buying and selling. I call it a 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. You don't have to hire people. And how much am I taking? Look, I took $28 on that one. The trader took $28. As Attila says, I say I took. But really, the trader took it automatically. You know, at 11:52 a.m. Look, I just got out of bed. At 5:10. Here's one while I was still sleeping. 9:55 a.m. I'm
Well,
joking.
right
I
below
don't
that,
get up that late.
right
But
below
you
that, you're
know,
definitely sleeping.
it's all the way up to how much it's up to the market to tell us how much money it wants to give us. Um, and you know, it does crazy stuff all at different weird hours, you know. Here's 4:39 in the morning, 5:03 a.m. You know, it's taking money day and night, 24/7 it's running. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. It's not illegal to do what I'm doing, even though it feels very criminal. Because who knew? You never, all your life, you're thinking and you're racking your brain trying to figure out the stock market, right? You looking at the charts and everything, and and trying to figure out, is this coin or this stock gonna jump and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't need to look at any of that stuff, man. You're overdoing it. I mean, you don't live your life analyzing stuff like that. And outside of the stock market or the crypto market, you don't do that. Literally. You walk through a store, you see something on the shelf, and you buy it. Most people don't even turn it over and look at the ingredients. My wife does, though. But most people just look over there and just, oh, there's Helva. I haven't had Helva in years. Let's buy it and eat it. We don't analyze the heck out of it. We don't analyze the heck out of our life, every little thing you do. But when it comes to the stock market, for some reason, you think you can predict stuff. The thing is, when you buy it, you don't know what it's going to do. Nobody in the world knows. And the instant you buy a coin, you don't know if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down. Unless it's going to do it right away, because by in a few hours, the whole landscape changes. All the indicators have changed. You're still sitting on the coin because it didn't move. Now what are you going to do? And you're stuck in this coin, and then the coin drops 30%. And then what do? You don't know what to do. You're just kind of dead. Most people will just go by news. They'll say, well, XRP, I heard XRP is going to go to the moon, so why don't I go ahead and buy, $10,000 worth of it and just sit on it. And if you did that at $3 a share, it's now at like $1.90, and you're down. And you're just sitting waiting for years. And Edward will be the first one to tell you, man, you only got so many years to play with.
Listen,
You
I
know?
tell people I count heartbeats. I did, and I won't bore you
Yeah.
with the details of the calculation. The average person at 60 heartbeats for 72 years. I've already used up three-quarters of mine, so I don't have any heartbeats to waste on anything that is not
Yeah.
positive. Either making money, building a legacy for my family, or treating people well. I don't have time for anything else.
Right. We really don't have time for a lot of stuff, it's I'm a one-track mind, I don't have time for doing a lot of different things. And the problem is say you buy a coin and then it goes down and then you're sitting on it for years, man, just waiting and praying that it's going to go up. Alchemy Pay is a perfect example. This first one here. ACH. I started trading the thing at 12 cents a share. Now it's at under 1 penny. You'd think, if I'm a buy and holder, if you bought that at 12 cents, you're dead. You're sitting on that thing and you're not making any money until it goes up 12 cents before you even break even. You are dead, man. You're going to be dead for years before that thing goes back to 12 cents. And in my case, though, running an auto trader, I've taken $151,000 of profits, closed positions P&L, and my open inventory is down 90,000. I'm still up 60,000 in a coin that literally crashed over 90%. This is the beauty. When that coin starts going back up, I've got all that inventory back to that well. That I'm sitting on loser, 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 and I'm sitting down here, the bottom, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I got the market trapped down there. If they try to go up, every time they try to go up to the next one, give me money, give me money, give me money. They try to go up further, give me money, give me money. They try to go down, buy. Now they try to go up, sell. They try to go down, buy. They try to go up, sell. I got them trapped, man, for the rest of my life. They got to just keep pumping me money, and there's nothing they can do to stop me. I didn't invent commerce. Nobody said that you can't buy something at one price and sell it at a higher price. What's different about this software is it keeps track of all those buys and what I paid for them. So I will sell them when they're profitable. I never sell at a loss. There is no losing trades in this system unless you do it manually yourself. And sometimes I see people hit manual closes and I'm like, why did you do that? I don't get it. Why somebody would sell something at a loss. It's like you don't need to because there's a misinformation up here. They think that if you bought it up here and the price is lower, that somehow, oh, that's dead money. It's not doing anything. I'm going to make the same amount of money per trade up here as I am down here. It doesn't matter to me where the price is. It's just, it doesn't matter. The secret to the market is keep taking money. Just keep pumping money. Just like a 7-Eleven, you put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price. And what do you want? I want stuff on the shelf that moves a lot. I want to turn inventory. Okay, so let's look at the trader real fast. Let me give you a quick review. This is your trader as far as you're concerned. This is everything. It's telling me I'm live trading. When you first start, the minute you sign up, if some people could sign up right now while we're on this webinar, your auto trader will immediately go into paper trade mode and start trading in paper trade before you connect it to the exchange. That's just to make sure that you have the right symbols in there. The strategy is already set. You put your symbols in. That's on the select currency screen. You can see you have your symbols already in here. You told it allow it to add on the declines, just like you saw the bucket and the well. And then you have adding on advances. That's if you're not selling a position. Like if I want to accumulate ACH, and if I buy it down here and then it goes higher, I can't add to decliners unless it goes lower. So if I'm not selling it and the price goes higher, then I want to add to advancers too, if that happens. That way I'm adding to losers and I'm also able to add to winners. Because I don't want to, if it goes higher, I don't want to wait for it to go all the way back down before I can buy again. I want to be able to buy at higher prices if it's going higher. So you want to check that too. But if you are closing, if you have allow sells checked, then you don't need to add to the advancer. Because if it's going higher, you're selling off and you're taking profits. So you're getting rid of the ones that are advancing. If I bought it down here and it goes up here, I'm going to sell that one. So I can always, and then my last buy would have been higher, and then I can buy again at a lower price. So you can always add to decliners as long as you're selling. But if I'm not selling, like some people are saving their XRP, they're letting it accumulate. They're letting it dollar cost average. People are doing that with XRP and Bitcoin, I notice. So that, and if you have that unchecked, then check that. It's just like Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin at 90 and it goes to 100, you have to be able to add to the winner. Otherwise, you won't be adding as it goes higher. You'll be just sitting there with the one bit that you bought at 90 waiting for it to go down. So you have to have this one checked also. Okay, so that's just letting you know how that works. And really, there's not a lot to look at here. Spread funds equally. It just took all my money and divided it just almost equally to each of these coins, so that all of them have funds to work with. And the strategy, so you put in your 3 symbols, 3 to 5 symbols. The strategy is already set. You don't have to touch anything here. It's only one page of settings, and it's already set. The old Attila remembers the old system. It had 10 screens of things you could do.
To blow yourself up.
10 ways, 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up, Attila said.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what it was too. People were destroying themselves. I got rid of all that stuff. I said, stop the gambling. People are out here gambling and they don't realize all they're doing. It's not up to you. It's up to the market. So you're creating all these crazy rules, and then the market decides randomly to go lower. And none of those rules meant anything. And then the market randomly decided to go higher. So it's like, if the market's just moving around randomly, why am I making up all these crazy rules? The market doesn't give a damn what my rules are. It doesn't care. So the only rules I need is money management, making sure that when that price goes lower, I'm buying more, and then selling it as it goes higher. higher. That's up to the market to decide when it's going to go lower and when it's going to go higher. Again, random. You can create whatever in your mind. You think you're creating all these fantastic rules, and they don't mean anything. It's all random. And you're wasting your time. And all those classes teach you to trade and all that on the internet. The guy teaching the class isn't even trading the market. They're all lying to you. It's all just a scam. You're just wasting your time doing all that, spending years and years. I love it when young people sign up because I love it when a young guy or a young gal figures out that they don't need all that garbage that's out there. And, I like to get them early before they get brainwashed into thinking they can conquer the market. Many of my clients are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't know if I have people in their 90s. I probably, you know what? I think I do have some. Some people actually passed away over the years that are using an auto trader. And I talked to their spouses and they said, he loved his auto trader. He had four of them. And, he couldn't wait to get up every morning, you know, he had four monitors, he had four traders running at once, and he just loved it. He just loved it. And you don't have to do anything, just sit back and watch it make money on its own. I mean, it's the greatest tool ever. And again, like I said, I never had any competitors all through the years. Where are the competitors? And then all of a sudden, the last couple of years, all these bots are popping up. I'm like, what the heck is a bot? I've got my infrastructure to run these servers is multiple millions of dollars invested in the co-location center alone, just to be able to run these auto traders all over the world. I'm wondering, where are these competitors? Are they running out of their garages? Because unless they've got millions of dollars to invest, and then first off, they've got to know what they're doing. Otherwise, they're going to have a lot of users losing a lot of money, and because they're just gambling. And they're AI. I've been doing AI again. We can talk about AI for a minute. AI has been around. I was doing it at Microsoft since 1989. The AI I have in here, each robotic trader literally writes to files every minute. Each robotic trader, figure thousands of auto traders for years, every minute, writing AI data, writing data that the AI is going to train on and get smarter and smarter and smarter. It started out in the early days, around 2005. It could probably give you about a 35% accuracy rank because it didn't know what it didn't know yet. It didn't see all the patterns yet. There's thousands of patterns, millions of permutations, millions of patterns, and it's got to see these patterns over and over and over again. That's why I let every robotic trader write data. And why would you might say, well, why? Why would two auto traders have to write data? Wouldn't it just be the same data? No. See, there's another misconception. Data is changing second by second. Data, if you look at the level 2 screen, and I jump around a little bit, I apologize, but let's just pick one of these coins, like this level 2 screen. This is the data. This is the order book, if you will. This is showing you see you see it changing constantly? These are orders that are being filled. They're filled and are taken off. Then you got fake orders down here, like that one at the bottom that's at 8.8 shares, available. That's just going to disappear like that. Because if you're buying 20 shares, that 8 shares is gone. If you're buying 10,000 shares, all these on the bottom are gone. You're going to get filled at a higher price than what you think you're going to get is the best price. But the point is, the data is changing every second. So one might report this on this data, but then the next second later, a different auto trader is writing and it's reporting its data based on different prices. So the data is changing constantly. So all this is being written to files, and my AI has been running 25 years. It has seen it has seen everything, all the different things that can go wrong. And believe me, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of patterns. There's a lot going on there. And a new bot, that if they call them bots and that are bragging that they have AI, they're actually so they're a couple years old. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know the last 25 years of patterns of that they don't even know, they've never seen before. They don't have, so it's like a 25-year-old in a foot race against a 2-year-old. They're not even real, you know? And I know what it takes to do AI, and I know what the horsepower, the computing resources that it takes. I mean, these things run on. I've got a whole rack of servers dedicated just to AI, and that's crunching numbers all day long. And my AI can give you a 98% accuracy whether a coin's going to go higher or lower minute by minute, which is phenomenal, you know, compared to the stuff that's out there today. Only because I've been doing it for so long. And when my AI is a learning system. It gets smarter and smarter on its own. You don't tell AI 1 + 1 is 2 and let it go do that. So it knows 1 and 1 is 2. No, it has to learn that 1 and 1 is 2. I'll give you a quick lesson. If I tell it I have a 1 and I also tell it I have another 1, and then I also tell it at the same time that the answer to that was 2, eventually, and then I give it more patterns and I say here's a 3 and here's a 5, and the answer to that happens to be 8. The auto trader or the AI eventually learns that it said, oh, it's adding these two numbers together. So then it knows, and it can tell you how accurate that is. Sometimes a 3 and a 5 will be 6. It won't be 8. So therefore, it can't give you 100% accuracy. It can only say, well, you know, I'm 98.7% sure that that answer is going to be 8. Do you understand that? So that's what it is. It's called pattern recognition is what it is. Neural networks. Um, and I mean, there's so much more involved. I show it here and I say, well, look at how easy that is. But there's so much more behind the scenes. There's so much programming. There's millions of lines of code. And what's nice about having it all on my own servers is it's all on an intranet. It's a closed network. And it doesn't have to go over the wide world, the World Wide Web to get stuff for your auto trader. It doesn't have to go and everything that it's doing, it has to go out and get this and go out and get that. That would drag it to its knees. That's what was wrong with the first trader I created when it was downloadable software and it ran on people's computers all over the world. Number one, you couldn't even check your email when that auto trader was running on your computer when it was downloadable software because the trader itself was using up all the computing resources. People would send email. I can't even check my email when this program's running. But now that it's running on my servers, that's why I sold that company in 2018 and I rewrote the software to be web-based so that I could have all the auto traders running on my servers. It's a major undertaking, you know that. I mean, that takes balls, man. That takes what I call managerial courage. Just say I'm going to just sell it all off and I'm going to rewrite it all from the ground up because I know I can do it. And I know that the end result's going to be beautiful. So now that it's running on my servers, your auto trader is running like the ever-ready bunny rabbit. It doesn't have to get any information because other programs on other servers on the intranet are retrieving everything and doing all the number crunching. So the auto trader itself is just looking for profits. It's just saying, I bought it here. Is the price 3% higher? Sell it. However, if the AI says don't sell it, hold on, wait until it goes higher because it's going to go higher. And you can see when AI gets involved in a trade. I'll show you down here just briefly. Like here, this one here says added to declining position. So when the position went lower, more than the profit, whatever the add-on in the strategy, here's the strategy. I'll just show you right here. It's a simple number. Right here, add shares on price moves. And I'm adding on 3% drops. Okay, because over here it said only add on drops, don't add on advancers. So we know it had to drop at least 3%. So we go over here, it says, well, it's dropped 3%, buy more. However, this one here said it's down 3%, I want to buy more, but then AI said, hold on, don't buy it yet. That coin's going to go lower. That's where AI got involved in the trade. And it's the same thing you can look, it's the same thing on the ups. Like here, this one here says profit goal reached. That means, again, let's look at the rule. It's only one page of rules. This isn't rock. This is baby stuff, really. You'll figure this out in 2 seconds. It's so easy. And it's already all set by default when you get your trader. The profit goal is set to 5%. There it is. So you go over here and you say, it's up 5%. So the software says, I see it's up 5%. I want to go ahead and I want to sell it and take profit. But the auto trader, the AI says, in this case, it just said, okay, the AI didn't say it's going to go higher, so go ahead and take the profit, the 5%. Of course, the coin could jump up 20%, and you could be selling it for 20% profit, not 5%, okay? But it's at least 5%. Then, on this other one, it said, the auto trader said, well, it's up more than 5%. I want to take profit. But then the AI stepped in and said, hold on, don't do it yet. Don't take that profit yet. The AI says, I'm over 95% confident based on the snapshot of what's going on with 27 indicators is telling me that I've seen this pattern a million times, and I'm 96% sure that that coin's going to go higher within the next 30 minutes. So hold on, don't take that profit yet. And that's what these AIs are. It's telling you that AI got involved in that trade. Sometimes it'll tell you on the screen, AI holding position, AI blocking trade. You'll see that sometimes. So that's what the AI is. I just told you 2 of the AIs. One for when it's going higher and one for when it's going lower. See, I actually told you what the AI is doing. So when you go to those other bots out there, those however many there are, and they say, oh, look at me, I have an AI trader. Okay, really, tell me what your AI is doing. Tell me exactly how your AI works. I just told you exactly how mine works. And it's been working like that for 25 years. And I know it works. I know intimately that it works. And I know where all my input data came from. The actual auto traders gave the AI the data that it needs to calculate to give me an answer that the auto trader knows how to deal with. It didn't go out there and get data from somewhere else. See, that's the thing. How are you getting data for your AI? Because, you can get a bunch of generic junk that's not going to really tell you anything. That's not going to help you make money. So the auto trader is all about just keep turning inventory. Look here, we had a beautiful day. What was that? 11.9, 24, and 11.10. These coins were going straight up. And it was just locking in all this profit. There aren't even any buys involved there. Look at all that. And then you had an occasional buy and another occasional buy. You're selling off all that inventory that you bought while it was going down. Down is good. Remember these terms. Down is good. And a well-seasoned auto trader has lots of down inventory. And the example there is if you're running a 7-Eleven and you don't have any potato chips on the shelf and a school bus pulls in, you're not going to sell any potato chips. You don't have any on your shelf. You got to have inventory. And you don't want to just have one bag of potato chips because if a school bus of kids comes in, you want to sell 20 bags. You want to have a lot of inventory. You can't have enough inventory. And that's another thing. People don't get it. I get emails from people and they say, I've got all this inventory that I bought at much higher prices. It's never going to go back to those prices. And, it doesn't matter if it ever goes back to these prices. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You got it all wrong. The profits are in the wiggles. It doesn't matter where the price is as long as you just keep pumping money. What do you care where the prices are? And if you get a big jump, you'll sell off that inventory up there. We're actually at the bottom. We're actually at the bottom of something this crypto, the whole crypto world here is in its infancy. Right now, all the companies that you're looking at, all those symbols, most of them are just building infrastructure for crypto, for the whole blockchain ecosystem. I mean, GRT, they've got 70,000 users, companies using their data. They get billions of hits a day on their APIs. Billions a day hits. They're building infrastructure. They're so you can't I don't even know what would happen if that company disappeared. I don't know what would happen to those 70,000 companies that are using them. I mean, it's mind-boggling. These companies, ACH, how many times have I told you over the years, ACH is just another alchemy. It's like Apple Pay worldwide. And then recently they just partnered with Apple Pay. So, these are fantastic companies that they're the whole crypto world is going to blow up. And this is an opportunity. I don't care if you work at Jack in a Box. I don't care if you work in a gas station. I don't care where you work. You have a chance to become a multi-millionaire. You're getting in on the ground floor of the crypto world. And the whales, when I say whales, I'm talking about Tom Brady, Trump, all these other multi-millionaires, and BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard. They've been loading up on cryptos for years, for the last 4 years. Ever since the crypto winter started in October of 21, they declared we want in. And that's when the market started going straight down. And so we've been trending down this whole time. And in the whole time it's been trending down, we've been sitting here taking profits. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Over the last few months, what have I been saying? Even a few months ago, we're going to see blood in the streets before this market takes off. Because you always see that final leg down where it scares the most people out. Where people are calling their brokers saying, just get me out, sell it. I don't care. I don't care what you sell it for. Get me out now. That's because, and you know when they're doing that? You see this big jump here when that coin jumped 60%? Look what happened just before it jumped 60%, that leg down. See that? Isn't that beautiful? How about this rally, this beautiful run up right here? Look what happened just before that. It scares everybody out on the way down. Right here is when the little guy got scared out. And thousands of people dump all their shares on those legs down when that happens. And people call me even and tell me, Ed, should I stop my auto trader from buying? This market's just going too low. It's going down, down, down. And I'm like, no, the biggest money you're going to make is what you're buying down here on these bottoms. Because these things are going to pop. And you're going to make a fortune. And again, I'm not an investment advisor, but I'm going to tell you, I know how to make money in the software. So don't, I can't, one of the things that I can't do is, I can tell you I know when it goes down like that it's going to pop and you're going to make a fortune because I know how the software works. The software is going to buy more on that bottom. And I know it's going to sell it when it pops. When does it pop? 5 minutes later or 5 days later? I can't tell you that. And if anybody tells you that they can tell you that, they're lying. Nobody in the world could tell you what a coin is going to do an hour from now or a day from now. They cannot. It's baloney. They're making that up. They're pretending. And they're wrong so many times. And millions of people just lose money because all they're doing is gambling. We're not gambling at all. There's no gamble here at all. And, and we all win. There's none of this. If you're winning, somebody else has to be losing. That's not true either. If I want a loaf of bread, I go to the store and I buy it. I won. I wanted it and I bought it and I'm happy. The store just sold me a loaf of bread that it bought at a lower price. They're happy. They made their profit. Everybody wins. There are no losers in Go Baby Trade. Whether you're a buyer, whether you're buying or whether you're selling, you're still winning. You're always winning. Where the people lose is they'll buy it, they'll they'll buy it up here and it drops down here, and then their friends and family say, "Get out, you're being made a fool of. None of this stuff is real. It's all smoke and mirrors." If it's all smoke and mirrors, then I'm not worried about the few $1,000 that I'm gonna lose. BlackRock ought to worry about the $1 trillion they invested in the crypto market. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, Tom Brady. They're all losing millions and billions of dollars if this is wrong. If the crypto market isn't real, then they've been duped big time. Because they're going to lose a lot of money, man. Whereas, I mean, there's no way it's the end of the crypto world. When the market's crashing like it's crashing, it's just because they're doing their last minute grab of every share they could possibly grab. The opportunity to grab a coin like GRT. Come on. Just 2 months ago, that was 12 cents a share. Now it's at 3 cents. Tell me, and there's nothing wrong with GRT. That's the graph. There's nothing wrong with them. They have nothing but good news every day. But yet they're down 3% today. What an opportunity to buy. I mean, did my auto trader buy today? I don't even know. I don't even pay attention hardly at all. No, I didn't buy anything today. Look at what it did. It only bought once on the 12th, GRT, there it is, and it bought Swift on the 14th. It didn't do anything on the 13th. And it bought Dogecoin on the 15th. That was yesterday, right? So, and today's the 16th. So the market is slowed to a grind, and which is real exciting because we're getting ready to blow. And the sooner you get in, the sooner your auto trader can start building inventory, because you don't build. See this number here, this 23? That's 23 lots. That's 23 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 23 down inventories. Even though while it didn't just go down, 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 down. What it did is it went up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm constantly taking profits. And then maybe it even went higher up again, and you sold a few of those off, and you're back up here again, So it didn't just accumulate 23 lots down all of a sudden. It took a long time. It takes time for the robotic trader to build this inventory. Now, in the last couple months, that 36 lots of GRT, that's when that happened. That happened just in the last couple months. Like I said, this was 12 cents a share. Now it's 3 cents, 3.76 cents. So it takes a while to build inventory. The sooner you start, the sooner your auto trader can start building that inventory.
Hey, Ed,
And
we've got right around an hour left.
an hour left. I haven't had a drink in an hour.
I know. That's why I'm butting in. We've got some questions. I know it's not time for the Q&A yet, but you may want to hit on the highest trade count, billion-dollar report, and whatever else you want to show.
Sure.
So, thank you.
Well, we talked about this. Here's the website.
Yep.
You just go to Go Baby Trade. And by the way, if you're using Crypto Casey has a discount link that takes $1,000 off the website price. There's the link, gobabytrade.com/CryptoCasey. If you type that in, that lowers the price by $1,000. If I click buy now, it lowered the price from $44.99 to $34.99. So you want to use that link.
Yep, just posted in the chat.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Does everybody know how to even use that chat? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, it's pretty active.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it up there so people can see it. That's the link. But right on the website, you can go to the trade counts. And this is trade counts is, let me tell you the concept first, and then I'll show you the report. And I use 7-Elevens a lot in my examples because the auto trader is just like a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart, those little grocery stores that you see in the gas stations. You want to sell stuff I mean, if you look at the expenses of one of those, you need all that infrastructure, the building and the employees, and you gotta have, you gotta have the coolers in there for the monster drinks and all the shelves. And then you have to have a cash register and somebody at the cash register. Some of them are big enough where they got two cash registers with two employees. I know there's one mobile station I go to for gas every time I drive between Las Vegas and Arizona. We always stop there, and that's like the halfway point and get gas. And you get donuts in there and monster drinks and stuff like that, and vapes if you wanted it. Um, then what it is you need all that for a 7-Eleven, but for an auto trader, you're doing the exact same business as the 7-Eleven. You're putting product on the shelf and you're selling it at a higher price. Only you don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to have any education. You don't have to know anything. Actually, the less you know about cryptos, the better you'll do with this auto trader. You
Yeah,
know
I
why?
agree. I
Because
agree.
the people who think they know a lot
Yeah.
don't understand that it's the market is random. It's jumping all over the place. You're sitting here trying to create strategies, and really all you're doing is stopping yourself from taking profit, or you're stopping yourself from buying a coin. Most people don't want to buy a coin unless what they're looking at on those screens is telling them that in their mind that, well, based on what I'm looking at, I'm predicting that the coin's going to go higher. Well, it's the wrong time to buy because it hasn't gone higher yet and you're just gambling. As opposed to, I want to buy while things are going lower, regardless of what anything says. I don't care what your charts say that things are going to go lower. Let it buy at the lowest prices. You know why? Because now I've got inventory to sell when it does go up, when we do get that bounce. And I don't have to sit around waiting for when it's going to happen at 2 a.m. I'm already sleeping, man. I'm not going to sit around looking at charts and screens and saying, "Oh, look, now it looks like the market might jump." You're never going to be able to nail those. Forget it. The auto trader automatically does it while you're sleeping, man. That thing, you're just sleeping and your auto trader's out there buying, and then it goes higher and it's selling. It's beautiful, man. I used to, when I first turned on the auto trader in April of 21, and the market was flying. If any of you remember the market from April of 21 to October, before the crypto winter came and it started going down, that market was flying. That's when I first turned it on in April of 21. As soon as I turned on my crypto trader for the first time after 21 years of just doing stocks, man, as soon as I looked at the screen, I went, oh my God, I'm done with stocks, man. A lot of people still use my auto traders for stocks, and that's cool if they like to do that. But man, I love cryptos. I used to have my laptop sitting next to my bed on the nightstand there. And in the morning I'd wake up, and as Edward says, turn around, give my wife a kiss first. But I don't think so. I think I'd wake up and I'd lift the lid on my laptop and to see how much I made while I was sleeping. And sometimes it was in the thousands, man. I'm like,
You ought to put it on your wife's side of the bed so she can look at it and watch how
have to
much money it
crawl
made, and
over.
then kiss you.
Honey, I made 10,000 today while we were sleeping. No, I love it. I love the crypto market. It's the biggest joke I ever saw. And it's not illegal. Again, I can't help myself saying that because it just feels criminal what we're doing. But if you think about it, I spent 25 years doing it, and that's a lot. Where I get a lot of what I'm doing is, why did I invest millions of dollars on this infrastructure over the years? I didn't do it overnight. I mean, now I've gotten to the point where I'm adding 10 servers a month, but it didn't start out like that. It was getting better and better, and I was improving it, and I could see thousands of traders what they were doing, and I could see a lot of people gambling, and there was a lot of feedback going back and forth. A lot of I talked for hours on the phone with clients, with you guys, and and I learned all the stuff that works and what doesn't work, and I got rid of all the stuff that doesn't work. That's the most important thing. People think they need to learn what to do to make money. Really, what you need to learn is what not to do. You see all this list of things? There's just pages and pages of what not to do. You know, that's the stuff that'll kill you, is the
Yeah.
gambling. You know, you're trying to forecast. It's like you're trying to forecast in a random market. You know, I mean, people can predict the weather, you know, only if you can see the weather coming. I mean, they're not predicting rain. They're not saying out of the blue, well, it's a clear sky, but I'm going to forecast that it's going to rain today. No, they see the rain coming from 30 miles away, and they calculate the speed at which it's going to, or when it's going to arrive. They're telling you, next on the weekend, here's what's going to happen. Expect rain. Yeah, they see it coming. They're not predicting anything. But you can't do that in the crypto market. The coins aren't telling you 4 days in advance that they're gonna pop. They're up 60% tomorrow. You don't know that. So you have to just prep for it. You have to be ready for it. So when it happens, it hits. People looking at all those charts and all that stuff, throw it all away. Seriously, throw it away. You'll spend your whole life. That's why I was telling you earlier, we got 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds. Think of each of you. I don't know how old you are, but if you're, don't play the age card with me because I'm not a young man either. So I don't want to play that. Well, I'm 70 years old. Boo hoo. You know what? You got 40 more years to go on this planet. Relax. You know, seriously. We would have been in high school partying together, is
Now,
what I say.
now, now that's a
I don't want.
prediction.
What's that?
Now that's a prediction. 70 years old, don't worry about it. You got another 40 years of the trader just cranking
Yeah,
out
don't
free
even worry
money.
about it. You're gonna wreck. You're gonna love this auto trader. And those of you, and you wasted all those years trying to forecast, trying to sit in front of charts and graphs, and think of the thousands of hours. And I've done it too. Think of all the hours we spent trying to do this stuff, trying to figure out, how to conquer the market. And I figured it out. But I didn't do it by myself. Everybody helped me. I had thousands of users showing me what doesn't work mostly. And some of them show, and I'm like, oh, the ones that were making all this money is the ones that are just buying and doing money management. And that's how we conquered the market. I got rid of all the other stuff. We don't have margin. There's no margin in the software. That's how you lose all your money. Doing that 2-to-1 margin. That's how I got hammered in the 2000 market crash when my 22 million turned into 10 million, is because I was margined and I sold I was forced to sell at the lower price, and that was the deadly part. So that's what you need when you get a margin call. So we don't have margin. We don't use stop losses. I know that scares people. Oh my God, that's like catching a falling knife. A stop loss is change the name to lock in loss. You bought it up here, it went down here, and you lock in the loss. Don't call it a stop loss. You didn't stop anything because you don't know if it's going to go lower. You didn't stop it.
Yeah.
You locked in the loss. You just sold this. What you bought up here, you just sold it at a loss. So change the name of stop loss to lock in loss. My original trader in 2001 did not have a stop loss in it. It had a lock in loss. Logically, it had a lock in loss. And that's how I was thinking of it. And then somebody called me and said, what is that lock in loss? And I said, well, that's if you bought it at a higher price and it goes down like 3% or something, and then you want to lock in that loss. He said, isn't that a stop loss? I said, what the heck is a stop loss? I didn't even know. And I automated the market. I didn't even know what a stop loss was because it didn't make sense to, you're not stopping anything. You're just locking in that loss. And in any case, we don't have a stop loss because that means if you bought it up here and it goes down here, you're going to sell that one at a loss. If you start selling things at losses all over the place, you're dead, man. You're just throwing money away all over the place. You're going to wipe yourself out. Everybody knows that. We do not have margin in the trader. We don't have a stop loss. You can't even set it in the edit strategy rules. There is no stop loss in here. We don't believe in it. It makes no sense. It's a violation of the trader. The trader adds to losers. So you don't, there's no way to stop loss. You're just going to be selling everything at a loss that you bought, especially in a big down day. When the market starts doing these slides down, this is where you get killed. People sell everything they bought up here at a loss down here. as opposed to hold that one, let it go down here, and even buy more while you're at it. Really stick it to them. This is where we trap the market at the bottom. This is their punishment that I say that I do to the market. You want to go lower, and how many of you already heard me say it? Some of you already heard me say it. Hillary Clinton says, when they go low, we go high. I think I know what she's talking about, but no way. Not in the crypto market. I say when they go low, we go low. When they go high, we go high. You want to go low, I'll buy more at a lower price, but now I got you trapped down there. What are you going to do? If the price goes all the way down here, what are you going to do? And I buy now down here. They have to raise it. Otherwise, what are we doing? Is it the end of the crypto market? I used to say that about Microsoft years ago when I talked to live audiences all over the country. I'd say, do you think they're gonna run Microsoft out of business just to steal a few $1,000 from me? No, they're gonna go up. They're gonna wiggle. See, I'm not asking them to go all the way back up to where I originally say you bought something at $10, and then it went to 7 and you bought more, and then it went to 3 and you bought more, and then say it went to 1. I'm just using these as an example, and you bought more. It doesn't mean it's got to go back to 10 before I can make money. I can sit and trade this bottom one 100 times. Profit-wise, I'm all the way up here. Even though I'm sitting on these losers. Don't worry about those losers. Like I said here, ACH, I started trading that at 12 cents. It's under a penny right now. But I've taken 151,000 in profits. I'm only down 90,000 in that inventory. So all that stuff I bought up there is all underwater. But I'm down here still pumping money. And I'll keep pumping money for the rest of my life. And what's nice is, it's really nice when you got that big bucket of profit, all that profit. If you add all this up, closed positions. See, here's what happens. Open positions only goes up and down as the prices go up and down. And this is where the public gets scared, because and the whales know it. They know if they push the price lower, it's going to automatically lower your account value. It makes sense because the price of your coins went down. But they go up and down. So they're going up and down as the prices go up and down. They can't just keep going down and run all these companies out of business. There's no crypto market if they do that. So it doesn't benefit them to do that. As opposed to closed positions, which just keeps going higher. It's like you have a jar and you're throwing marbles in that jar and you keep throwing them in. Marble in a jar, marble in a jar, marble in a jar. Scroll down. Every one of these, this is all positive. All that, marbles in a jar. Go lower. All these cells, marbles in a jar. You just keep throwing. This number only goes bigger. It never gets smaller. So this number just goes up and down, but this number keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger for the rest of your life. It will overtake anything here as long as that coin stays in business. Temporarily, yeah, you can jerk with me for a while. Like I'm down 71,000 in my inventory on this Sheeb, but I've taken 55,000 in profits on the Wiggles. And I'm down 15,000 overall, the net, on the right here. But don't worry about that. This can only go up and down. This will keep getting bigger. And I was net positive on all these coins just a few months ago. They're giving the market a good last minute push down. They're trying to drive as many people out as possible. I don't know if you know this stats, but everything I know I just got off the internet or YouTube or reading the news. But 95% of all the cryptos are owned by the whales, by the wealthy, by the institutions, the exchanges. They own most of the shares. Only the public is sitting on only about 5% of the shares. So they've already cornered the market over the last 4 years. That's why we've been on this downslide for the last 4 years. They've been playing the long game. They've been saying, you know what? They figured it out. Let's just get all the coins. And then we'll start letting the little guy in. We'll start letting the Bitcoin ETFs in. The Ethereum ETFs in. Bank of America just signed there was a press release a week ago that says they're letting their investment advisors now allow people to, to let people in to buy crypto. That's huge. They're slowly going to bring back the public. And when the public gets in and starts getting comfortable with it, because right now everybody's running scared. And this is the time to load up. This is when the wealthy are all loading up at the bottom. This is like they did in 2008 when they ran the bank stocks down to $1. Do you remember that crash in 2008? They pushed the bank stocks down to $1. The little guys sold out, and the whales were loaded up. Every time you're selling right now, who do you think's buying on the bottom? Go Baby Trade users and the rich and the whales and the institutions. They're sucking up every share they can get at these insultingly low prices. This is ridiculous. They're sucking up shares at a penny, at under a penny. This is a joke. So they're loading up, just like in 2008. They bought the bank stocks at $1 and they rocketed up to 50 and sold it all off, and they got rich. And where did that leave everybody else? In the gutter, losing money again. Well, with Go Baby Trade, we turn the tables on them. We say, you go low, I'll go low, I'll buy more at a lower price too. Now when you
Yeah.
go higher, I got you trapped.
Right. You think we could move to the
The
highest
highest
trade
trade count report. So if
count?
you're running a 7-Eleven, you're going to want a report like this. If you're just opening your new 7-Eleven, somebody sent, Cord is the guy's name who sent me this, because he always heard me talk about it, because I was speculating that if I'm running a 7-Eleven, I don't want to have to call every one of these vendors and work with them. I'm going to work with the distributor. And I was guessing on that because it's just logical. I can't imagine the guy sitting in there where I see the people working in there. I know darn well they're not sitting around talking to vendors. So I'm thinking you're working with a distributor and he's showing you the items that sell the most. So I was always talking about this, like this coffee, it does about monthly, it says every 30 days here on the right, 13,500 coffee average sales. Monster drinks, 11,940. All the way down, and they get smaller, less and less. You want the biggest moving items in your store. If you go to the bottom, what do you got at the bottom? He always used to hear me say Band-Aids and iodine. Who's going to buy that in a 7-Eleven? You might buy some Band-Aids, but you're definitely not buying iodine. He threw those in there just to appease me, I'm sure. But he showed the top 30 items, really, of the biggest moving items. I mean, if you did have iodine, you're lucky to sell any. Who unless you're an old fogey like me, is gonna buy iodine, or you might buy Band-Aids, but they're not putting that on a lot of shelves, I'll tell you that. They got one little bitty niche in that store. You're lucky to even find it on the store without asking, what are the Band-Aids? Oh yeah, right there in the corner there. You see those? So so I was always talking about that, and then he showed me the actual distributor sheet from 7-Eleven, which was cool. Here's what I created about a year ago, maybe 8 or 9 months ago. A report that shows the previous year's close trades. If you were running each coin, it's a big back test is what it is. It back tests every month on 3% moves, and every month it comes out, it says, how many trades would I have got if I was trading that? And it's not you're never going to repeat 1 year to the next, all right? But it's a ballpark of showing you which coins are the biggest movers, okay? Just like on here, they're not going to tell you exactly. You see that word estimate right there in the front of that? Estimated monthly, okay? Sales. It's the same thing here. It's an estimate. It says, last year would have got 1,485 trades. And these are closed trades. Every trade is a profitable trade. Okay? 1,438 closed trades. 1,343 closed trades. The biggest movers are near the top of the report, like in the top 20. Or even more, because top 20 here says 1,050 trades. Number 21 is 1,043 trades. That's just about the same. So But as opposed to the junk at the bottom. Who wants to trade stuff at the bottom and get 226 trades, 212 trades in a year? You're going to have months like this. No trades in December, 8 trades in November. No, I think that's November. November and then October. In September, 2 trades. August, 7 trades. Who wants that junk? If you're sitting on that in your inventory, I say, I'm not an investment advisor, folks, but I say dump it. It's garbage. It's not, it's garbage from a day trader perspective, from a profit taking perspective. It doesn't wiggle enough. I don't want to trade stuff that doesn't wiggle, as opposed to, all this junk at the bottom. Look, it's REQ. What is that? 12 trades, 5 trades, 4 trades, 6 trades. That's junk. These are monthly numbers over here. 249 trades in a year. Throw it away. You're not turning inventory. I don't want that in my 7-Eleven. I want stuff that turns inventory. So most of Go Baby Trade clients are trading stuff that's turning inventory. Stuff that moves. So that's what you want to do. So a report like this, Edward, what do you call this report?
Billion-dollar report.
Billion-dollar report. The billion-dollar report, because like you talked about, when you set up when someone sets up their account for the first time, you have already done the homework for them. You have pointed out in the current situation, what are the best coins to trade based on everything
Volatility.
Volatility based on quality, based on, you point out there, if it's a utility, it's a meme coin, an NFT, the number of trades, all of the work is done for you. And then this report changes on a monthly basis. That doesn't mean to swap out your coins.
No.
But it gives you an indication of where the market's going. For what it does for me is it provides me the data that I need for the next time. I've got 3 sons, right? The next time, and a wife, that buying a trader for them. What do you always say, Ed? What's the best thing you could ever leave your children? A fully funded auto trader.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right?
Well, I started going down the list of all the things I want to leave my children with.
Yeah, sorry. Well, it semi doesn't apply to you because you've been using your own logic and work for
all my
forever,
kids run auto traders, all right?
What?
They all got their own auto traders. They funded it themselves. I gave them a free auto trader, and I said, now it's on you. And believe me, they are all in. They've been watching me develop this stuff. I've been retired their whole life. My kids were 4 and 5 years old in the 90s. Picture what happened when I retired in 95. My son, they were 4 and 5. And then my wife started volunteering in the school library so she could be close to the kids. And, that sounds crazy, but I mean, it was great because she was close to the kids all day long, right? Where did that leave me? I got up in the morning. I did a 5-mile jog. I mean, it was 2.5 miles to one light. I know that one light on Pima and Dynamite. I would do 2.5-mile jog down. And I say down because it was kind of on a downhill slope. And man, 2.5 miles back, man, I felt like I was in the Marines going back. Because you're running down gangbusters. Look at this. And when you're coming back, it's like, oh my God, what did I do?
So
I get to the house, I take a dip in the pool to cool off. I go in, I take a shower. What? I want to drive my car into my Jaguar into a wall.
Fortunately, you
when you're retired.
Yeah, fortunately, you focused your attention on continuing to optimize this. I apologize, I took you way down a rabbit hole, but what this does is every time I go to buy a new trader, right, I look at the market that has changed. I look at the current value of this report to show me the most volatile coins over time, and they may or may not be different than the ones that I have in my personal or business.
They kind of change at the top. Right. They kind of like lock in here, popped in because of this big month here, and it jumped to number 1, which is interesting because Swift and SPA the 2 and 3, number 2 and 3, they were battling it out for number 1 and 2. They were going back and forth month by month. Swift would be on top for a couple months, and then SPA would be on top for a month, and then Swift would come back. And then now this month, all of a sudden, lock in jumped to number 1, which is interesting. But, some people don't want to do meme coins, so skip it. Some do want to do utility coins only. But you might have a Kraken account and this coin is only available at Coinbase. So the 3 coins we put in there as the default coins when you sign up that you can just pick, right? Just click show me defaults. SPA, SPA. No, SPA's not one of them, is it? No, it's because it's only available at Coinbase. I picked the 3 coins were the top 3 that were at Coinbase and Kraken, and they were utility coins, not memes. Was XCN, SUI, that's SUI, and L3. Those are the 3 coins. If you sign up right now and click default coins, those 3 are going to pop up.
Yep.
I grabbed a few months ago, I opened up another trader. I've got multiple auto traders. I didn't even look. I just grabbed the top 5 right off the top of the list. I didn't care whether they were memes or what. I'm at Coinbase. They were available. Kraken was not up at the top. Neither was FWOG. I don't even know what that one is. I got to look that up to get it on the report. That's a manual thing on the report. So until I look it up, it won't show up on here. But I grabbed the top 5 coins that were on there at the time in my trader, in one of my traders I just created. And it's great. They just crank out money. People are overthinking the whole thing. It's just free money.
Yeah. Hey, Ed,
Yep.
we've got to move on.
Yep.
And you can look at, I don't want people to think you need $1 million to run these auto traders. I took the biggest traders out of there because I have clients that have over 1 million running in these traders. And believe me, I hear it all over the years. People have told me, oh, over here, all my life savings is in your traders, Ed. I'm really, I understand it. I have confidence in my traders. I don't see anybody getting hammered ever. That's why TD Ameritrade asked me in 2006 to automate them because they see the same thing. They were confident that my auto trader wasn't going to go haywire and lose all the people's money, do anything crazy. There's so many checks and balances in every trade that goes on. But I got rid of the biggest traders because I didn't want you to think you need $1 million to trade. Here you got $114,000 accounts, $19,000 accounts, $10,000 accounts, $160 accounts. And you think, why would somebody pay $3,500, $34.99, and then only invest $160? Well, he did double his money. He got a 111% return, which is Warren Buffett would love this system. Give me 5 minutes with Warren Buffett, I guarantee you he will buy this system. Only problem with that is he's going to be mad at me because I only set the max that each auto trader will trade is up to $2 million.
Yeah,
and that makes people mad. I got clients with $10 million that are upset that they have to buy 5 auto traders. And I'm like, it is what it is. I didn't create it for you. I created it for regular people.
Amen.
Normal people. I didn't create this for the rich so they can get richer. They can use the auto trader if they want, but I'm sorry, you're going to have to just buy multiple auto traders. I'm not going to modify it. There's another thing. If you're trading with a real big, large amount like that, if you trade with $10 million, your lot sizes get too big. And remember, when you look at the level 2 screen, let's just pick any of these. Each one of these orders is only so big. And if you're buying, say I want to buy, a real large amount, instead of buying it at 755 down here, which is the bottom one, which is the best price, I might end up paying 770 because I'm going to have to buy all these shares to cover the size of that real $10 million large order or $1 million large order, whatever it is. It's ridiculously big. So you have to find a coin that maybe moves more, just to give you an example. But see, all these trades are just, they're coming and going. Boy, the market has really slowed to a grind right now. It's slowing
Yep.
down, which is
It's
interesting.
running out of
See,
retail
that's the thing.
crypto.
What's that?
It's running out of retail crypto. All the
Well, you know,
institutions are
Doge is
scooping it up.
moving. Doge is
Yep.
moving.
Ed, we were,
But in any case, you know, when you're doing real large orders, you're not going to get filled at these down here because you see the amount of shares that they're offering up at the bottom here. The lowest prices are there aren't that many shares, and you see they're disappearing. When they wiggle, that means somebody bought, and that means that that one available shares disappeared, and there's thousands or millions of people out there trading. So these coins, these orders, these offers disappear, you know, and new ones come in. And if you're trading with a real large amount of money, you have to add up all this available shares, and you might end up paying something, you know, a much higher price. So it doesn't, you know, it's not good with real large numbers. I'd have to rewrite some stuff to accommodate orders that are ridiculously large like that.
Well, I will be the first one not to call you and complain when my market value in my account is $2 million.
Yeah, but I've got people with multiple accounts with over $1 million in each one, you know, and you know, because the software just works. Nobody cranks out money like this. It's free money, man.
yeah.
Yep.
It's just like
Yep.
free money. It just keeps pumping money forever.
So,
Hey,
hey, Ed, how do you feel about ripping off your jacket and showing your giant crypto C and moving into
What?
the Q&A? But I got a surprise. Did we cover pretty much everything?
Well,
yeah,
but I was gonna
yeah.
say though, we were talking about the top traders. Why would somebody start with 160? It's possible, and I see that a lot, where somebody will start with a small amount, and then they want to see it work for a while, and then they throw in a lot more money, you know.
Got it.
And so, but one of the if there's any manual trades done in a trader, they won't show up on here. And you know, and let's see, what's the highest amount I go to on this top 50? $212,000 account, 214. I think the highest, I mean, I might have lopped it off around there. You know, where it didn't trade, where I wanted to show normal people what they can trade with and get crazy returns. I mean, 114% return, you just can't get that anywhere.
And
you
click
gotta
on
work
what
like
that
a dog
pick,
somewhere to get money, to get
yeah, pick
returns
that
like
at random and show and just click on the yellow button to show what that person is trading.
Yeah, you can click on it. This guy here went bonkers, and he still did, you know, 82% return, you know, and he's got a lot of coins.
So when you
Wow.
don't
But
follow the rules,
you notice he's only got like 6% per coin. This one he's only got 1% allocated. But a normal trader doesn't do that. A normal trader is going to have 3 to 5 coins.
yep. So look at the one. Look at the top one or two, just to show if you follow our suggestion, not advice, pick 3 to 4 coins and just let them run. Look at the leverage that it creates.
It's saying allow buys and allow sells. You know, I didn't change the report when I adding to decliners and adding to advancers. I didn't show those two check boxes. It's still the old one that just
Yep.
says allow buy, which
Right.
is adding on decliners.
So look at because I'm going to show an example based on the 5,000 on a 5,000, the number 2 position that's 162% return. Click on what they're trading there.
All right, what's interesting here is he's got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solarium, and XRP, Ripple,
Right.
and And it's what he's showing here. These are the most important out of all the rules you saw on the edit strategy page over here. Out of all these rules, the most important ones are the profit goal, 3%, adding on price drops, 3%, max lots of 30. And that 3 times 30 is a 90% drop. What that means is his trading window. If I buy up here initially, and then if I was to add every time it dropped 3%, even though you're buying and selling, if it was to just each time it goes lower and I accumulate, if I was to accumulate on 3% drops 3 times 30, you'd have 30 lots down, would take you down to a 90% drop in that coin price. Which means as long as it stays within that 90% window, he's just going to pump out money forever on these coins. Literally, when I say forever, I'm talking about forever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about literally forever, for the next 100 years. He's just going to keep pumping money. And again, not doing anything illegal, folks. It's just free money. It's just the way the market's designed. The public, for some reason, doesn't see it. And that's the challenge. For me, this is a therapy session for me. You guys know that. I come to these things every week for my 1 hour or a couple hour therapy because I don't get the public. I've been doing this 25 years and I've got thousands of users and no competitors. And the public, everywhere I go, I talk crypto and the people are just out of it. They've mentally checked out. And I'm like, this
we're
is
happy
telling me the rich are loading up like crazy. And the public is just going to keep working their jobs. Watch when this market takes off. We've been in a 4-year downtrend. Watch when we go into a 4-year uptrend. And you got all that inventory. See, you need to build the inventory on the downtrend. Trump is sitting on $7 billion worth of crypto. He didn't buy it all at the bottom. He bought it all while it was going down. All of them. They were accumulating at all up there while it was going down. And now watch when it starts turning up and he starts selling all that inventory off.
Yep. Anybody that owns the trader will win. So we're happy to provide you.
You will be retired for life. So it's just to sit back and relax and let your auto trader do the work.
So let me show them some magic. So remember this $5,000 example here and what they've done in a year, because I'm going to go on very, very conservative numbers. So by the way, we're happy to provide a weekly therapy session for you to come out of the basement and stop programming for a couple of hours. But I'm gonna ask you to give me your screen back, and then I'm gonna ask people to dream a little bit. But now you've seen what the results are, and I get it. It's only a snapshot of the top 50, but that was 162% return on that 5,000. Let me show you something.
No, that was a 284% return.
No, 162.
No. 162 was take a look at it. It was the second. It was the second one, and I wanted to specifically use that $5,000 number.
Right here.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're right.
162.
The top one was 284.
Yep. But that's not a fair example because it's only 163. All right. Let me borrow the screen back, and I'm gonna ask people to dream a little bit, but I want you to use logic, and I'm gonna post how I get this calculator. It's something that I started messing with, and that I presented it a week or so ago, and it really changed my view of things and made it even stronger. So I'm going to share this with you, and we're going to play around for a little bit, and we're going to quickly move into quick
that's a nice background.
Right? Yeah, thanks. And we've got 25 minutes, so I'll make this quick. So that 5,000, I'm just going to round it down to 5,000. Okay? So first of all, I want you to keep in mind, where are you going to make this kind of money? Where is it sitting? Is your money employed now? Is it in the stock market that is, my opinion, oversold? Where is it? Where are you going to make this kind of return, or any return for that matter?
You mean overbought?
Overbought. It's highly inflated, scary stuff. So let's use a 9-year example. Can everybody agree that 9 years is going to pass whether you buy the trader or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you saw 162%. I'll create a very, very simple example, and then I'll create an outlandish example. But the outlandish example, if you remember back where we started, I told you that we would present facts. So the outlandish example is going to be as of the 19th, a 4-year example of one of Ed's original traders that it hasn't done it linear. It hasn't made 100% or the huge returns year over year over year. However, in a 4-year period, on the 19th, it will have 5x your money. So let's just play with a smaller example. So let's just say you have a return rate of 50% annually, and you decide, okay, I'm going to start, because people go, well, how much do I need to start with? And then what do I need? What coins do I need to buy? So we answer both of those questions. But watch this. Let's say that you decide to add $500 a month over that 9-year period, and you're only making a 50% annual return. By the way, I also want you to keep in mind, this is 50% annual return cash flow. If you're holding, remember I said, if you own the trader and you own you're hodling, you're now a hybrid. Whatever you're trading is creating cash flow. And quite frankly, a lot of people use that cash flow to buy more of their long-term buy and hold. Keep those in mind. Okay. So let's just calculate. 5 years. I'm sorry, $5,000 over 9 years at a 50% return. What did Attila took a break, but Einstein.
That's like 4% a month, right? 50% a year return.
Yes. So Einstein said, the eighth wonder of the world is compounding your money. But where are you going to do that in the centralized finance system? Nowhere, particularly without risk. We've shown you the risk mitigation. So here's 5,000, 50% annually. You're adding $500 a month over that period of time, right? And let's say you've got a 9-year glide plane to retirement, and you have a 401k or wherever you have your money, and you're expecting a retirement. You've calculated what that value is. Okay. So in 9 years, you go, okay, I'm not going to touch it in that 9 years. I'm just going to put the $5,000 away. I'm going to add another $54,500 a month, and I'll do it without the 500. So you can see that as well. But it will generate your account value, if it only does 50%, is $677,000. So let's copy that number. Let's say at the end of 9 years, you're like, I don't like the trader anymore because it's making me too much money. Okay. So let's post that value here. Let's change this to 1, because what I'm going to do is
you buy 3-year licenses.
No. Let's say they don't like you anymore. They don't buy another license after 9 years. Okay.
All right.
You stop contributing, and your money is, what's your money going to generate? Okay, it's 50%. It's been really aggressive, but let's get a little more conservative. Let's say it only makes 35% a year, right? Oops, needed to put a 0 in there. 237,990. Now I can't do this calculation on this calculator, but I'm going to give you what your monthly income will be just sitting back, fishing, spending time with your family. 296 divided by 12. $19,744. Now let's get a little bit more ridiculous. Let's just change this back to 50%, because it's been doing that the last 4 years. More than that, it's 100%. Okay, 338,994 divided by 12. $28,450 every month for the rest of your life, and you still have the principal, right? So you still have all of this sitting, just generating 28,000. So let's go to an absurd example. Let's go to what the truth has been for the past 4 years. So, but I'm going to use a much smaller number. Ed started with 200,000. I'm going to start with 5. That's where I started. And it made 100% a year, and you didn't add anything. Look at the power of compounding. Now, Ed won't let you put 2.5 million in, but let's just say he keeps the top value at 2 million.
Yeah, people don't usually let it go all the way to 2 million. They'll put about 1.5 million in one account, then they'll start moving over into another account.
Okay. I'm just showing people how to dream because this is what I do all day long because I know the trader works. And then let's say after the 9th year, they don't like you anymore because you're making them too much money. Okay. It drops down to 50%. And there's no contribution, right? But you've now got $1 million based on 5 grand. Okay. You're generating
Well,
$1
it makes
million.
sense. You start with 2 million and you make 50%. That's 1 million.
Right, 1 million, but I'm getting it down to everybody lives on a month-to-month basis. You have an ancillary income in your sleep, making money in your sleep still. You could buy another license, but how much more money do you need on a monthly basis? At that, starting with $5,000, and it say it doubles. Maybe it does more. You just saw 162% return. Is it $83,333 a month? Dream, but dream big. That's
Well, I
all I'm
hear you.
saying.
I like Scott. I like Scott's comment. He says, "No, I just know how to analyze basic numbers." And you know what? You're like me. Basic numbers is all you need. When
Yep.
they start getting crazy with all these derivatives and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm like, "Stop! It's all blah 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 blah." That's like watching MSNBC. Blah 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 blah. They tell you nothing. Why did the market crash? They make up numbers, they make up reasons. Well, the market crashed for this reason last night. Hey, how about telling me what it's going to do tomorrow? Oh, well, we don't know that. Then what good are they? You know
Agreed.
what? I noticed something on MSNBC, the stock channel in the early morning hours. For some reason, I always seem to wake up around 3:30 in the morning. And I'll flip it on MSNBC. And I noticed a few years ago when they first added Bitcoin to that screen, it used to be just the Dow, the Nasdaq, the NYSE, and then all of a sudden a few years ago they put Bitcoin. It's like, holy Toledo, here it comes. And then just recently, I just saw it. I saw a couple of days ago they put XRP on the screen. I'm like, oh yeah. And now they're
Yep,
showing
and
like Ethereum
they
also.
yep,
They're
they may be
slowly
slow.
adding more coins.
They
They're
may be slow, but
slowly
they're getting
bringing the
it.
public into the fold.
Yep, they may be slow, but they're getting it. All right, I just posted that calculator, so go play, go be conservative, go be crazy. But the 100% number I used because you've seen the evidence, black and white and blue and yellow. There's no smoke and mirrors here. So even if you want to be conservative, I mean, unless you want to work till you die, what did Warren Buffett say? Right? Unless you give your money a job and your money's not making money, you're gonna work till you die. So there you go. We got questions. So let's start with
So we're
Scott.
going into the Q&A.
We are
All right. I love a
Ed.
good Q&A session. I hope there's good stuff. I like to take off my coat. And I
Yep.
like a good Q&A. I want to hear why anybody wouldn't want this software. What part of it does it sound like baloney? What is it? Because, when I presented that bucket in the well to an audience of AI developers, I was teaching an AI class in North Carolina a couple of years ago, and I drew a picture of that bucket in a well, and I talked about that. And when I got to when I said, well, if the bucket doesn't have to go all the way down, if it just wiggles a little, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I didn't say go to the bottom. I didn't say buy at the bottom and sell at the top. I just said buy it anywhere. It doesn't even matter where you jump in. And then sell it on a little wiggle. Buy, sell, buy, sell. I said, how much money can it pump in a lifetime? That's when the room went quiet. And I was looking there was 80 people in the room, and I was just scanning the room. I'm looking, come on, how much money can it pump in a lifetime? And I heard one guy go, there's no way that could be real. I love it. I love that. See, that's what I want to hear on here. I want to hear your negative stuff. I want to, and then I want to help deprogram you,
Well,
because
if you
because
come
it
at
is when, and you hear the terms, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. You heard all those cliches our whole life. Oh, adding to a loser's like catching a falling knife. Yes, if you're a buy and holder and you're all in up here and then you're buying more down here and you don't even know what to do. You're not doing money management, you're not doing risk management. You're not, the software's doing all this stuff. The software knows how to handle that loser, whereas you don't. And that's the problem, when, adding money to a coin that's going the wrong way and you don't even know what you're doing, you're just going to get killed, man. You're just tying up all your money, as opposed to letting the auto trader manage it and just grind out money forever. Um, so I want to help deprogram you. So I'm hoping we hear that kind of stuff. I want to hear the negative stuff. What is holding you back from buying an auto? Is it because maybe I sound like a scammer, or maybe I just look like, maybe it's my complexion and I don't look like I'm going to live long enough, and then this thing, and then when I die, it's all over. My
Um,
son has been programming these auto traders for 15 years since he was in high school. He has a biochem degree. He is a genius. By programming standards, he is a master programmer. And what I always say when people say, "Well, what happens if anything happens to you, Ed?" I always say, "Hey, what happens if anything happens to Steven?" He knows, he programs a lot of this stuff. So I mean, what's going to happen? But remember something, a very important thing. When you look at like TD Ameritrade, zero programmers. E-Trade, handful, couple programmers. These big companies don't have the number of programmers you think they have. They're not as big as you think internally as far as programmers go. How many programmers do they have? Are they outsourcing everything? I don't outsource anything. Everything that in our system was created by me. Everything. Me and Steven. Everything. All the backups that occur constantly on all the servers, the security. If you ever saw our security, you'd freak, because I was doing security encryption at Microsoft, and I know I got tricks. I got stuff you could never crack in my security. And even if somebody ever did, they would never have the ability to do anything in your Coinbase or your Kraken account, because the API that we get from Kraken and Coinbase only gives you the ability to submit orders, buy and sell orders, no transferability. I can't steal your money even if I wanted to. So even if somebody did get into, which there's so much weird encryption going on all of our servers, that you'd have to crack one, then you'd have to crack another and another, and there's no way they could even break in all our servers. There's no way.
but that still doesn't give them access to your exchange account, to people's
Right.
exchange account.
So they
There
can
are
never
so
bring
many.
down all our servers, and it doesn't matter if a server goes down. It doesn't even matter to us, because then the other servers just pick up all the auto traders that were running on that server. And if a server goes down, it might be a data feed. Okay, well, there's other servers that are also doing data feeds.
Yep.
So it's like we got duplication of everything all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know how you could mitigate the risk more than that. So we actually have less than 10 minutes, and we got a handful of questions. So
Why do we have
apologies.
a timeline? Usually
Well,
we're unlimited. Usually we're unlimited.
we are unlimited, except for Attila and I have to rush off to a presentation on your trader. So
Oh,
bear with us. So Scott, Ed, I've heard people say that 95% approximate of all altcoins will not exist in maybe 5 years or so because of
yeah, and
evolution. Speak to so to speak. Is sorry, I got to look around my camera. Is is that a concern in Go Baby Trade? Should you pick utility cryptos such as XRP, XLM, HBAR, Ethereum, etc.? What are your thoughts?
all right. My thoughts are that 95% of the coins that are out there right now shouldn't even exist. They're all garbage. You see the top. Coinbase has, as Attila would say, Coinbase has vetted the coins already. Out of the 20,000 coins or more that are out there, Coinbase only lets 400 of them in. You can see it in the highest trade count report. Mind if I come in here? The highest trade count report, the $1 billion report, if you go to you see these numbers on the left. If you go all the way to the bottom, 403 coins is all they let you trade, and some of these aren't even tradable, really. These are what they call stable coins. So we're not trading stable coins. So 399 coins. Maybe they set the limit at 400. I don't know, because for some reason that's a magic number. Only 400 exactly. 4 years ago there was only 35 coins. So they're already they're already vetting the coins and getting rid of the garbage. So I'm not gonna. And to me, there is no crypto market if you take GRT out of the mix. And why would you get rid of ACH when they're like Apple Pay worldwide? Don't worry about the price. The prices are ridiculously low, so the whales can load up at ridiculous prices. And the public's letting them get away with that, because the public's out of it. So they're letting the whales lower the prices, and the public's not jumping in and buying to mitigate that low price. But watch when the whales decide that they've already got enough coins and they're going to turn this market around. Remember, 4 years downtrend, watch when that trend turns up. I think it's not going to turn up. I mean, come on. I mean, that's what, people think, like, well, what are they thinking? It's the end of the crypto world? These companies have not slowed down. Like XRP is dealing with legal stuff in America. They never stopped what they're doing worldwide. All over the world, they're adding banks like crazy. I mean, they are so big. Watch when this thing blows, man.
Yep. As you said, it's not the end of the crypto market. It's the end of the fiat market, and it's the beginning of the crypto market. All right.
So,
Next.
but a lot of people don't like trading meme coins. All right, don't trade them. Then just trade utility coins. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, you're free to trade whatever you
You're
want.
free to do that. Just trade utility coins. I like utility coins that are available at Coinbase and Kraken instead of just Coinbase or just Kraken. Most of the coins are available at Coinbase and Kraken.
Yeah, Ed, here's another question from Scott. With the market going sideways a whole lot, have you considered going back to a 3% profit margin?
No, and here's the reason why. My feeling is I'm going to punish the market for what they've done. You
Hmm.
pushed it down. Now I'm sitting on all this inventory. Why should I give it away at 3% when I can get 5%?
Good point.
So that's the reason that I'm not raising it. I know some people that have their traders set to profit goal 10%. They're not even, because I don't really care how much money I'm making every day. I don't really, I mean, like I said if you listen to me talk a while ago, I mentioned I found a dollar bill on the ground coming out of a Sprouts grocery store, and it was all stepped on and all and everything, and I shoved it in my wallet. And I still think I'm still excited that I found a dollar.
Hey,
And
Scott's
my
got
auto
us.
trader cranks money out of the market like candy, like free money. I
Scott,
don't even, I don't even, I'm not, it doesn't matter to me. I don't, because the market's going to pop. We're always going to get these crazy pops in the market. I
yeah,
mean, like that. I mean, if I change the symbol, what is that? What are we on here?
assemble.
All right. Well,
ASM.
let's just change it
ASM.
here. Let's just go to like another coin. Let me get this out of the way. Let's just say L3, limit 3. L3. I mean, see what I mean? It does crazy moves too. I mean, that's a 150% jump in one day. And it was only up there a few minutes. It came right back down. It came back down like that. And we bought more and then sold it off again. and it's just like in anything you bought, any inventory you're sitting on, you just sell it all off. It doesn't even see that whole decline right there. People get scared. You sell it, but you know, it's the market is such an insult to humanity. I can't even believe it. And then
Yeah.
when it spiked down 30% that one day on there it is, October 10th. Man,
Yep.
that's when I couldn't resist. I jumped in manually and started buying. Even though my auto trader was buying, I said, "The heck with that! I'm buying." I threw 5 or 10,000 more into the coin, and it just went right back up. It didn't even matter because I'm doing all this buying, and I bought it down there, sold it higher, and it's just the
Hey, Ed,
market.
Scott's got a really good follow-up question. This is a really good one, I think. I've not heard this question before. He
Look at
says,
this 50% jump right here that it did again, earlier
yeah.
on August 29th. I was in it when it did that. It was only up there a couple minutes and it came right back down. See, that's the beauty. If you didn't even catch that. If you weren't up at 5 a.m. in the morning, well, you didn't get that one, or 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. You'd have to be sitting there and you didn't even know what was going to happen because it just went. And the auto trader says, okay, well, what inventory am I sitting on below that? Sell it.
All right. Great. Scott has a follow-up. This is him, I'm reading his question. One of my cryptos in GoBaby is Swift, SWFTC, and it's maxed out at 35 lots. Would you increase the lot max number or size and spread funds equally and thereby reduce the per lot size
Yes.
purchase of the other coins, or would you just leave it alone?
Look at this one. I have GRT at 36. I'm
Yep.
up to 36 lots.
Yep.
The strategy, I spread funds equally, right?
Hmm.
Now, if you don't have any money left, then you go to your save bucket. Usually I have like $150,000 in my save bucket. I went and bought a Range Rover, so I blew 200,000 of the money. So I took it out. But it's still usually you have a big bucket of saved money in your
Hmm.
save bucket. But if I go down to the strategy, go to the bottom, I set it to 50 lots. I raised it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I would raise it. I usually raise them in fives or tens. Um, you can also, under the menu, what's cool about this, see this health meter? I think it's automatically at the top of the main screen also. See there? You can click on that and it shows me everything is good. So it's, as long as everything's good based on what Ed likes. you
Haha.
know, everything, all the rules. It's kind of like your Quest diagnostics. You go and get blood work, you want everything to be good. There's the other two things that might show on here would be X's would be red, which means you got a problem. Like if you ran out of money completely on a coin and said, "Hey, this coin has no money to trade with," it would tell you in the health
That
meter.
that's probably what Scott got the warning of, or maybe didn't know about the
Yeah,
health meter yet.
maybe. Yeah, the health meter. It would be red on your main screen here. That would be red
Yep.
if it found errors.
All
Um,
right. Well, that's good advice, Ed, to Scott. Scott's been with us a while, so he appreciates that. Now, Colette's got a quick question. I could probably answer this one, but if you want to answer it, Ed, your call. She says, I'm relatively new to the crypto world. Congratulations. Less than a year. I'm wondering if the past 4 years since Ed has been running his traders, if the market has been similar to what it's like now, or if it was more volatile. It's all over the map, Colette. I mean, it's all over the map. When he got in from April till October of 21, it was going up. It was like a rocket ship. And then all of a sudden, it went way down, and we had the crypto winter for like 800 days. Okay.
yeah,
Where it just
straight
stayed
down.
down. It
But
stayed down.
right now, the last couple months, we've been seeing blood in the streets. But I've been
Yep.
telling everybody, watch, that's coming.
And that's good.
Because, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell people that we're going to see a huge crash. They do it all the time in the stock market also. They just slammed when before a coin, just like in 2008 when they pushed the bank stocks down to $1. They slammed those things all the way to the bottom as hard as they could, drive the little guy out. And the whales, I mean, the people, the smart people, I shouldn't even call them whales. The smart people loaded up at $1. And we cleaned up because those coins rocketed to $50 a share. That's why I say you can't own enough crypto here. Don't even worry about the inventory. I keep adding coins. It's like, hey, go ahead. You want to go down? I'll buy more, But the software's buying intelligently. It's not going crazy. I mean, here's 2 buys on December 12th, one on Sheeb, one on ACA, on Swift. But then the one that it bought on Swift, it just sold off. It bought it what did it do? It bought it on the 10th, and then it sold it on the 11th. It bought it at 11:10 p.m., and then sold it exactly one day later at 11:03 p.m. the very next day. So oh no, I sold it manually. I don't even know why I did that. I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But then the next 3, and you can't find manual trades down below here. That was all. I only did that in the last few days. I just got stupid. I mean, it was just free money, man. I don't know. I was sitting there looking at it at 6:41 p.m. here, and I did a manual buy. I said, buy 100,000 shares worth of this stupid coin, ACH, because they pushed that price down and to 8,775. It never really goes down lower than a penny. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just buy 100,000 shares, And then one day later at 4:44 p.m., I just sold it and just took 20. I just figured, it went up to 9 cents, so it went below 9 cents or 0.009, not even a penny. But it went, and I just sold it manually. You can manually close positions profitably. I really don't recommend manually closing positions.
No.
Yeah, let me chime in.
I don't recommend buying positions manually. Be careful there because you're using money the auto trader has to work with. I don't want to get crazy here. Let me just say this. You see, I've got all this money here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500,000, almost $500,000 of cash. I don't want to. I wouldn't go out and buy $90,000 worth of ACH, and eat up all the money. I wouldn't get stupid about it. I'm just
so for us mere mortals,
don't do it.
if you manipulate the system and manually do anything, but let me first say this: if it's been refined over the last 25 years. Why would you mess with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever, ever, Mr. Barsano.
This is just my way of punishing the market. These times when I did this stuff is when the coins were at record lows. When I did this any manual buy-in, it's when they were at record low. It's like, this is ridiculous. I see a coin drop ridiculously, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy more. I don't care. Because I mean, it's like right now, GRT is at a record low. Never been that low before in history. Never. It's at the bottom. And I'm like, and then I look at the company, I'm like, that company is $1 billion company. Give me a break. I mean, they're not going out of business. There's no way. I'm not even worried in the least. They are going to pay me, and they're going to pay me big. You know what? If you do any charting on this coin has no resistance all the way up to about 9 cents. So whenever the big boys decide to make it move, it's just going to pop to 9 cents. Watch. It'll just go pop straight up to 9 cents, 8 or 9 cents. Boom, 100% return. Just like these like L3, when it went pop, 150% return, or I think that was it. Was that 150? Yeah, that was 150% return. Boom, free money. So I'm not worried in the least. I am at peace with the planet.
But again, I say for us mere mortals, You've created a machine that simply pulls free money out of the market. The strategy
Just
is
let it
set.
go.
The strategy is set. Pick good coins, stick with them. I just showed you a 9-year model that is literally life-changing. Most people work 40, 50, 60 years to have pittance, to have, what do they come out the back end with? Probably almost nothing. And try and live off of Social Security, which they need to change the name to Social Insecurity, right? So the bottom line is let it do what it does.
Hey,
So,
Edward,
yes,
You're
we're
sir.
just
past
going to
we're
grind
past
money out
our
forever. It's free money, and if you'd have had this, I mean, I know all of you can think back. If you would have had this right here, the way it is, web-based and everything, 25 years ago, think of all the money you would have racked up.
yeah, it's
Just
crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy.
constant wiggling, even in
So,
the
Yep.
stock market, just
yep.
Hey,
constant
hey,
wiggling.
Ed, we're a
And if you're
little
worried, was it Scott that asked about coins? 95% of the coins are going to go away. They ought to go away because they're all garbage. And most of them are garbage. These aren't garbage coins. These are infrastructure coins. I mean, to the crypto infrastructure. I mean,
right.
they're not going away. There's no way. I don't. Well, I'm not an investment advisor, but I'm not worried in the least. And as long as they stay in business, they got to keep pumping me money.
Ed,
And
I'm sorry
remember,
we're
all this big drop right here all happened in the last 2 months. This is a last minute push before they rocket this thing to new highs.
okay. We're running late past our hard stop,
Uh-oh.
so I apologize, but we got to get Edward. You want to cover Patrick's question?
Yep. Hey, Patrick, great to see you, brother. He says, if the whales are loading up, how come the prices are still down? Well, guess what? In my humble opinion, I believe that all of this crazy market action and all of this, even though every day is great news for the crypto market, we all know logically what's going to happen. There is no chance that the fiat system will not be replaced with the crypto market when you have good quality cryptos. However, what if you've been in the crypto market for the last 5 years since the crypto winter started, you are at a point now where the economy at large is starting to squeeze you, right? You thought you were getting in, and you were right. Thought you were getting into something that was going to be very powerful, and it will be. But I can tell you there is sentiment out there that at large the retail holders of these coins have lost 90% of their money, and they finally like, all right, I'm out. I give up. Well, the institutions manipulated that and made that happen. So what they're doing, why do the prices still stay down? Because everyone that says, I give up, the institutions are like, okay, we'll take that little bit of liquidity. They do that all day, all day, all day, every day. There is so much there's going to be so much of a liquidity squeeze in the good quality coins, all the ones that we're talking about. You want to know why I called the $1 billion report? Because it gives you an insight of the ones that have a track record that have returns. And then we talked about, this magic thing about cash flowing, right? I told you if you buy the trader or you own the trader and you own crypto, you're now a hybrid. You're cash flowing and growing. Whatever you do with that, like Ed says, it's his job to help you make money with the trader. It's your job to spend it any way that you want. So in my humble opinion, Patrick, people are being squeezed. The retail is being squeezed out, just like we've been talking about, for the institutions to scoop it up. At the end of the day, go vacuum all the crumbs up of all the people. I won't make it too gory, but clean up all the blood in the streets to own it all. Watch what's going to
They
happen.
already own 95% of the crypto.
Watch
So,
what happens in
but
2026.
but to answer Patrick's question, if they own 95% of the crypto, it's not the little guy driving the prices. It's
Yep.
the big guys.
Right.
Yep.
And it's easy for them. All they have to do is stop buying.
Yep.
If they
Well,
stop buying and the little guy's selling, all the prices are just going down. Big boys can load that can all they got to do is start going high. They could push the prices higher easy. Just start buying. And and I can tell you I have my finger on the pulse because I see what's happening. I see the number of signups. I see the emails that happen every time there's a couple up days in a row of the market, people go gangbusters. I see how the public works. When the market's going higher, when we start having up days, everybody wants in. I hear people send me email and say, "I want to be all in. I want to be all in. I want all my. I don't want any money sitting on the sideline." I hear it all the time when the market's going higher, and I'm like, "Take it easy, man. Let the auto trader do what it's doing. Don't get crazy. The auto trader's doing money management. Don't think
Yep,
you want to go
exactly.
all in. People that go all in get killed because then
Yep,
they turn the market and go the other way,
yep.
and then they're what I call top heavy. They got all that inventory up there and the price is all the way down here. And worse
I,
than that, and let me tell you, some of you folks that might do this, don't let me get to the
we got to
here.
wrap up, Ed.
Don't uncheck these. People say, well, it's going down. I don't want it to buy anymore. When you do that, you stop the auto trader from buying. Then the coin drops 20% more and you didn't buy. And you're missing all the action. The auto trader makes money on the wiggles. It'll make more money if the prices jump higher because you're selling all that inventory you bought up there. But but it makes money on the wiggles and you're killing the wiggles. And if a coin drops 20% and you didn't buy any, you're missing all the action. You're killing your auto trader by doing that.
Yep, yep. Good
I
advice.
tell people to
Yep.
at least do this. Look, if you want to slow down the buying, this is an easier way to do it. Just go down here, and instead of adding on 3% drops, add on 5% drops, add on 10% drops. Slow down the buying, but don't turn it off. You're just
Yeah.
killing your auto trader, man. Don't do that.
Great advice.
And then
Yep.
uncheck these. You don't need these. The add to advance are checked unless you have don't if you unless you stop the selling and you want to accumulate the coin, then you need to add to advancers because if the price goes higher, you won't be able to buy anymore unless it goes down
All right.
below the lower one. So you have to have
Yep.
that checked
Well done.
if you
One more,
if you uncheck that.
one last question, Ed, and I'll cover this one because this is easy. Russell is asking, Crypto Casey says on all her videos not to leave your cryptos on exchanges like Coinbase. Ed Barsano, why do you think Coinbase is completely safe? Seems a little contradictory if you both say something different. Russell,
Well, we can't
you
help
are,
that. She knows a lot and she has her opinions, and that's okay.
let me
Um,
say, let me say something, Ed. I got to say something. Russell, you are with us every single week, and we really appreciate that. I love people that join us every week because it shows that you care and you want to learn something new every week. But you have repeatedly heard me and Ed Barsano say that Coinbase is not going anywhere. Coinbase is a public company.
yeah.
Major institutions are custodying their crypto on Coinbase. Okay. This is just, and that's why Ed Barsano chose Coinbase as one of the two, because he knows they're not going anywhere. So you've heard us
Well,
say this
also
before.
I have thousands of clients. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of them have $1 million accounts in these auto traders, and they're trading at Coinbase and they're trading at
Generally,
Kraken. So
generally
it's like
speaking,
I
um,
trust that more than some physical device that might break. That like Trade Ledger Nano S. I had two of them once, and
yeah,
and
Ed,
I
we can't go into
programmed
that.
both.
I'm sorry, Ed, we can't go into that. Let me just
All
say
right,
this. Let
one
me
of
just
them
say,
broke, anyways.
I know, I remember. Let me just say that Crypto Casey says that, but she's not talking about the trader. Obviously, she's talking about if you don't have a trader, get your cryptos off of the centralized
Yeah, that
exchanges.
makes sense.
That statement makes total sense. But if
Yeah,
you've got a trader,
exactly.
you don't have to worry about it. These
If you're
are,
not trading, you're just buying holding. Yeah, you can move
yeah,
it to off store, cold storage. That's fine.
yes. Okay, thanks, guys. Anyway,
You got to
Ed,
go.
yeah, we got to go. Ed Barsano, we won't see you till the new year. What word of wisdom can you say for everybody for the holidays?
You can't own enough crypto. You don't know when this thing's going to turn. No, you don't know when this market's going to turn around. people might be just dumping right now for, even the whales, might be dumping just to rack up a lot of losses. So, for tax season, this happens at the end of every year. Coins just crash. Stocks get sold off at the end of the year to lock in
Yeah.
losses. This
Right.
market could rocket in January, but you want to start building inventory is what I'm saying, because every day you don't own an auto trader. You're not accumulating inventory, and you're not locking in profits.
Amen.
Like my 30-day profits. You want both. And every day you don't have it. 6 months from now, when you finally sign up, I guarantee your exact words. You could write them down now. You're gonna say, "I should have signed up 6 months ago."
Shoulda,
I
woulda,
hear
coulda.
it all the time.
Yep. Okay. Thank you,
And the
Ed.
other thing I want to say is, you young people, you're just getting out of high school, you're not planning on going to college, or you feel like, I'm going to take some time off. Yeah, I've heard that one. Go in the Navy for 4 years. It'll change your life. Go
Amen.
Navy.
Go Navy. Well, I'm just going to say I really wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing 2026. You could take that one to the bank. So stay safe through the holidays. Don't eat too much. Pace yourself,
I am
and
going to pig out.
set set your eyes on what you want for 2026 and go get it. So go forth and multiply your money. I'm out, Edward.
So before I get to the pleasantries, I'm going to give you two guarantees. The first guarantee is there is volatility in the market, and they will always wiggle. Always. You will never, doesn't matter whether it's big volatility, little volatility, you've already seen that this works on very small moves in the market. So the first guarantee is there's always going to be wiggles. There's always going to be profits over the long term. Look at this as a life trader. Look at this as leaving a legacy and creating a cash flow so that you can enjoy your life instead of retiring at 75 and dying at 80, because that's what the trend is. So the second guarantee is you're going to kick yourself if you don't take advantage of this marketplace. What do you say, Attila? You can't live
10 lifetimes and have this kind of financial opportunity.
right. So I set an expectation at the beginning, or we set an expectation through my words. What can you expect? Transformation. If you walk away from this and go, geez, I'm just not sure. Okay. We're not here to twist your arm. We're here to show you an opportunity that if you can't replicate this and live 10 lifetimes in this opportunity, and you apply an automated trader that works in your sleep and money management, you can rest assured that if you let it go long enough, like I said, is 9 years going to pass whether you buy the trader or not? Absolutely. Unless you can stop
Volatility is
time,
never going to stop.
right? Unless you can stop time. And the third guarantee is we are moving from a debt-based system to an asset-based system. If you're buying quality coins, meaning putting them in the trader, you are set for life. I'll end with the comment about Ed Barsano. You can't own enough crypto. And I don't want to spend time looking at screens. I just want to spend more time with my family. So with that, I thank you for being here. Mr. Barsano, I am always so grateful to you to give me an opportunity.
Can I make
Right?
one more comment, though? Do you mind?
Not yet. So not yet, sir. I want to thank you for the opportunity that you've given selfishly my family, and then the opportunity to, as I started, we don't have to do this. We get the privilege of sharing this with as many people as we can. With that, I thank you for your time, Attila. I would not know about this without you, without Ed, right? So 6 degrees to Mr. Barsano. I am loving it. I want to wish everybody a happy and Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year. We will not see you till next year, but we hope you join us again on the 7th of January. Same bat channel, same bat time. Mr. Barsano, I'll leave the last word to you.
Well, one thing I wanted to say to the comment about 95% of the cryptos are going to go away, that kind of stuff. Pick the coins that you don't think are going to go away. Trade the heck out of them. You could trade the heck out of Bitcoin. It's just sitting here going like that. You could trade
Yep.
Bitcoin forever. You could trade. Do you think XRP is going to go away? If the answer is
Blue
no, you could
chips.
trade XRP. You don't think H bar is going to go away? Trade H bar. Just trade 3 coins that you believe really are not going to go away
Yep.
and grind out money till you die. And
Exactly.
and you really believe they're going to go to the moon, well, you're trading them down here, you're accumulating them, and you're trading. And if they go to the moon, you're still going to benefit.
Yeah.
Either way, you win. There's no
Yep.
losing in this system.
Right.
Agreed. Well said. Okay, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yes.
Thank
Go
you.
Navy.
You know, Attila, Edward, you guys rock. Thank you.
Oh, that's
You're
very
inviting me.
kind of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye now.